This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Taco Bell. It's going to be a wet one today. Showers coming in around noon. Highs around the mid-40s, and it's currently 40 in downtown Seattle. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce are very real and delicious. That was your weather. I'm Tori on 102.5 KZOK.
Hey, back up, camera. You see what I did there? I know that you did. Let's see. It's 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaducci. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where'd that drive? Oh, excuse me. This is pent up.
I'm so embarrassed.
You should be embarrassed. You have a beautiful new Kia. So here's the thing. I came in right behind Sarah, and she pulls up, and Sarah and I both back into our spots now.
Yeah.
That is kind of one of the benefits of having a backup camera. They're bitching. And so Sarah goes around to pull her nose forward so she can back up. I think, it's going to be really funny. I'm going to go behind her, and she can't go until I pass by behind her.
Oh, a little dangerous.
Little dangerous, not too much if you're a normal person driving the Kia. So she goes forward. She's looking forward. So I go real fast right behind her, and she starts to park like she's gonna crash. I have to slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking she's being a jerk face, which is not unknown to me. But then I'm kind of pulling up more. I'm just about to beep my horn because how can you not see me? I'm in a big white Jeep, 10 inches from you at most.
Yeah.
Like I look like I'm gonna kill you.
And you don't expect to see a lot of people down there, but if there's a Jeep pulling up on you, you'd think you'd notice
Well,
it.
I did not
here's
see
the
it.
thing, though. She's looking over her right shoulder like it's 19. What's that song? 99. She's driving like it's 1999, and she's looking all the way over her right shoulder. Why do you do that? Do you have a backup camera?
I love the backup camera, and I'm very dependent on it.
Yeah, me too.
But for parking in these really tight spots, the beeping starts to go off like I'm about to hit something, and I'm 2 feet away from it. So I've found it to be more accurate when I'm backing in to not hit the pole if I actually look at it and space it with my own eyes as opposed to looking at the camera.
Okay, what you need to do, because I had to do this too, is adjust the parameters of your camera. I don't know how to do that, like actually with a screwdriver or anything. Just when it says I'm there going backwards, I'm 3 feet from there. So what I do is know that. And it took 50 times to be not scared that I was crashing, but the backup cameras, they're better than you are. They're better than I am.
This thing beeps at me, though, like I've committed murder.
Right.
And maybe I am committing murder because I don't see who I'm running over.
Well, you're almost the victim this morning. I will tell you that. But yeah,
Thanks for not hurting me.
you should work that out because they're great. They're really cool. The biggest drawback I've found of a backup camera is I can't really drive well without it, and I also can't parallel park. I used to be a great parallel parker. Those days are over.
Because now you're relying on
Completely
the cameras
reliant
and
on
not
the
your
camera.
sight. Yeah.
Same thing with the lane detection. You know, when you put the turn signal on and it beeps if there's
Yeah.
a car there, I now never look at my blind
I don't
spot.
I don't change at all.
No.
Turn it on. If it doesn't beep, I am changing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the only time that's a drag, that's also a drag if you didn't have it. When that's a drag is exactly this. The guy that wasn't in the lane is at the same time you want to be in the lane.
Right.
So that lane's now empty and you're free, and you and the offending car in the same fast lane, then that's a problem.
Yep.
But aside from that, yeah, the indicators from the car are great. I have one that kind of supposed to keep you in a lane, like if you're going to cross over a lane.
Yeah.
I find that super. No, I've never done this before, but I got the what's that book in the
manual?
Yeah,
User
I got
manual?
that thing. I got the manual and looked it up so I could turn it
Jeez.
off, and I
That's
turned
dedication.
it off. Oh, it's hard. You think you're being hit. all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, practice with the thing with no barriers around. You'll be very
How is
happy.
it possible that none of us have had a car accident? Oh, wait, then there's Tori.
Well,
Hey.
She's had all of them for us.
in life,
No, I mean, the way we're talking about how we're all now so dependent on our backup cameras, and I think all of us admit we are.
But the technology is is a better driver
is a
than
better
we
driver.
are. That's why we haven't had an accident, because the technology is so
Technology's a
good.
better driver.
And you know what? I got to tell you, most of the time, most accidents, I kind of want to get out of my car and punch them in the face. And I will tell you why.
Yeah.
Because why did you just crash? We're on the freeway. There's no reason for you to have just crashed into anything. And now look at the freeway. We're all backed up 3 miles. You know, if I'm coming home right now, apparently I'm still in Tacoma because you're an idiot and crashed into something. You know what it is? You tailgated somebody or some such
Yep,
thing,
definitely.
or
Yeah.
you wouldn't merge or some such thing. So I these days I kind of. You know, you to be standing there in an ambulance better be on the way for me to forgive you for getting in a car accident. In which case, I'll drive by and I'll see her all covered in blood. And I'll go, oh, dude, sorry, misjudged the whole thing. Sorry. So I was going to open the show this morning with Careful What You Wish For. I usually, I've said in the past to Amy, it'd be great if you got up with me. We'd have a cup of coffee or something. We could talk and do, that kind of stuff. Now, I started that before I was on the treadmill every day by 4 o'clock in the morning. We don't have 2 treadmills, so she can't be on the treadmill with me. Although I've tried that. This morning.
Yeah.
So anyway, for some reason, she got up this morning, and I said, I've got this. I'm buying food that is in my target area, my plan, if you will. And today's is quiche. So I told her, now you guys do know real men don't eat quiche?
Is that a thing? Real
See,
men don't eat
I think
quiche?
that's an expression from the 80s.
It's a book from 1982. I looked it up this morning to tell her why she was being such a butt face.
I don't know what the hell quiche is.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Real men don't recognize the word quiche.
I said it's like an egg pie, which is
Yeah.
a pretty good description of. I was gonna go feed it to the kid.
And it's fabulous.
I guess I don't know. Yeah, they're okay. They're just any other kind of food. But she said, "Why don't real men eat quiche?" I said, "This was a movement in the '80s. This guy wrote a book on the parameters of what real men will and won't do." Then somebody, since it was such a runaway bestseller, within 2 minutes, somebody wrote a book called "Real Men Eat Quiche" or some such thing like that. Well, Amy found that hysterical, and I don't even think that quiche eater is a nice nickname. Go to work,
sounds like an
quiche eater.
insult. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
doesn't that sound like a thing? Hey, quiche eater.
Yeah, Derek, you quiche eater.
Yeah, you quiche eating bastard. Anyway, it bugged me. So
I think it comes from, I think it was either the 50s or 60s or something, that women used to go out to luncheon and they would serve them quiche, and it was like diet food, and it was something very feminine, and only women ate quiche. And then they started to realize quiche is actually not that good for you.
that
Typically,
right?
It's got crust. Like the one you're eating is obviously
mine's
special made, but
mine's got a crust made out of cauliflower.
Yeah.
All 3 ingredients. But anyway, so she's been bugging me for at least 24 hours now. Yesterday, maybe this is my fault. She said, all right, I'm going upstairs to meditate. We have this little loft above the kitchen, which is good for about meditating. I used to have my guitar lessons up there, but it's okay for 2 guys. It's not okay with 2 guys with 2 guitars. There's just not enough room in this thing. So she goes, okay, I'm going upstairs. And I think because it took a month of her going upstairs for me to not go, Amy, Amy. And she'd say, I'm meditating. Remember, I asked you if you'd not bother me for 5 minutes. And I'd say no, and I'd think it was funny. So I decided this will be hysterical. She goes upstairs to meditate. On the back of my couch, I have what appears to be fur. It's obviously fake fur, but it's a 4 by 4 foot square of fur. Don't know why, but it keeps me warm sometimes when I'm cold and she's not, which is always. So I thought, this lady deserves a treat, so I'm going to give her the old Burt Reynolds. I'll tell you what that is. The old Burt Reynolds is me naked on a fur rug. It's gonna be she's going to be thrilled by this, I can tell.
And you're posing in Playgirl, right?
So, no, I'm just posing in our living room. So I spread out the little thing, which is only 4 feet, but it keeps rolling up. And so I turn around, and I'm stark naked because I'm being naked for her. And I turn around. I was facing north to south. Now I'm facing south to north. So I'm totally backwards. I'm pulling out the 2 corners, and I'm pushing out the other 2 corners with my feet. So my butt's way up in the air, like kind of staring at you, if you know what I'm saying. And all of a sudden I hear the loop, and she cracks up. She's reading my butt tattoos. I didn't even think about that there's a balcony that she can look right over. And really, I mean, try and think the most horrifying position you could ever be in.
Yeah.
That's what she's seeing. And I froze like that when she goes to the loop, and I'm thinking, oh, she didn't see me like this. So in my mind, I'm just going over all the things I don't want her to have seen, and they are right there. And I said,
There's no O in that loop, is there?
there's an extra. And she's usually not this clever, to be honest with you. But I said, oh, honey, you wrecked it. You should have seen me. And I'm still splayed out. And then she says, tain't my problem. Oh!
There was a police standoff near Olympia yesterday that ended with the arrest of a man, but not the man police were originally looking for. This was a home on 12th Avenue Northeast. It was supposed to be vacant. It's up for sale by the suspect's father. But when the real estate agent went to the home, they bumped into the 36-year-old suspect who had a gun. That real estate agent left and reported to the man who owns the home, said that we've bumped into this 36-year-old suspect. He has a gun. The man called the Department of Corrections, knowing that his son, this 36-year-old with the gun, was wanted. So he called corrections on his son. When the DOC, Department of Corrections, went back to the home and knocked on the door, they heard noises. The SWAT team were called in. The home was surrounded. They finally sent a robot in looking for the suspect. Instead, inside, they found a man who was robbing the house. He, too, had a warrant out for his arrest.
Well, this is terrible luck.
This is the worst luck house ever. I'm never buying this house.
Well, the real estate agent, I'm guessing, lost the client at that moment, but they did arrest somebody who was wanted, and it just happened not to be the son who they were originally looking for.
Right. Just any felon in a storm, I guess, is their thought on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that there are bad luck things in life. Yeah. Well, but there may be math to prove me right. I see places where 3 or 4 viable businesses, things that I care about, things that I like, have gone out of business. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a cursed corner. I've never put, I just think that spot is cursed. So I don't know if it actually, not really cursed, but there's no parking. There's some, but I believe that there are bad luck places.
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad luck place. It's a great place that you love, Danny. The Space Needle.
Yeah, it's a great place that I do love.
Well, I've got bad news for you.
What?
According to Como News, the Space Needle's renovation will not be done in time for this summer's tourism season.
That is news to absolutely no one.
Right.
Hey, man, we're going to make this thing all glass so you can see through it, and we're going to be open by Thursday. You ready? Go. Nobody believed that timetable. It's like the Bertha thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a drag and everything, but I did not expect a tunnel boring machine to go under Seattle and think, oh, man, it's February 13th. You said you'd be done. Nobody thinks that stuff will really be done. How late?
Well, I know they wanted it to be open for summertime because it's peak tourist season.
Yeah.
And now they said that the crews are working 20 hours a day, 6 days a week, trying to make up for some delays. They presently do not have a timeline for reopening. They said that barring any complications, we've had complications. We are now running behind schedule. We are still working towards a Memorial Day reopening.
When's that?
May 27th.
Nope, not a chance.
It's not, they're saying it's likely not going to happen. Now, their plan is amazing. These views, the glass floor.
It's so awesome. It's my favorite place.
It seems a little unnecessary, though, the glass floor, because have you ever seen that place not busy?
Well, see, that's the thing where you have to go, nice, that they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And they think there's places in the world that have done it. There's a place in Paris that did it. There's glass spots on some high-rise places that are very popular. So I think they just did it for us. And, it's not a charitable organization. They're going to make us pay for it. But I think that's why they did it.
Imagine if it's not open by Memorial Day, how much money they're going to lose.
Yeah, but I think they'll make it back. That'd be my thought.
A woman says she is overwhelmed with gratitude after receiving a new kidney 1 year to the day after putting up a billboard on the side of I-5 looking for a kidney. Roxanne Loomis, a former emergency room doctor, put up this billboard along I-5 in Eugene last year, hoping to find somebody who would donate a kidney. She really needed a kidney and, thought sometimes people go to Facebook or they'll wear T-shirts, they'll put it on a car. She's like, I'm going to pay for a billboard. 60 people came forward and said they wanted to donate. They formed one of those bonds where my kidney's going to go to Becky, Becky's kidney's going to Steve. And because it turns out you can't just donate your kidney to anybody. It might not match, it might not be compatible, but they created 10 recipients, 10 donors, and it was all thanks to the billboard in Oregon.
Well, I think that's very neat. And so you can selectively give your kidney, right?
Yes.
Because there's a waiting list, but you don't have to put your kidney on the back of it. You can say, I want to give it to Paul, and give it to
Yes.
Paul.
Yeah. And it seems a little bit weird, right? Because you can't buy them legally.
Right. Not in the States.
Right. But so if Paul needs a kidney, you and I say, well, okay, for a price, that's illegal.
I think on the black market where did I see that whole special in the Philippines? You can get one for like $100,000, maybe $150,000. I don't really remember. I'd be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they say it's terrible. You can't do it. Yeah, the guy said it's a good deal. I got to go to Disneyland or whatever. I just get a kidney. I'm going to Disneyland.
Except the surgery is in somebody's bathroom at like a
No,
seedy
no.
hotel.
I don't even know that the surgery's in the Philippines. The big guy do was an Israeli doctor. But
So you have to go to the Philippines
can you
to get
Yelp?
your kidney.
Can you Yelp stolen kidneys?
I don't think
Yeah.
so. But the dark web. You got to go to the dark web.
I wish I knew how to do that. I watch the news, man. There's apparently some really cool stuff for sale.
In national and international news, one of the nation's largest sports retailers, Dick's Sporting Goods, made a huge announcement this morning that they are immediately ending the sales of all assault-style rifles in all of its stores.
That's me clapping.
Yeah.
I think that's great, and I don't really care about like the Second Amendment stuff. I think Americans should be able to buy whatever they want, but I think we don't really have the right to bear arms. That's a weird, people are wrong about that. But everybody's fighting and stuff. Can we take it off the thing? The kids are getting shot in schools. Oh, what are we going to do? And they're going to lose money and customers, and they decided to do what they felt was the morally right thing. I applaud them, and if I ever have to buy something, I'm going to Dick's first.
Well, they also announced they would not sell any gun to anyone under 21 years of age,
Still applauding.
regardless of local law.
Yeah, you're making some real dough. I mean, you're losing some real dough,
Losing
and
some
I
money,
admire you for it.
sure. They're making a statement, and a lot of people are like you applauding that this morning.
Like I said, I don't care that much either way about the Second Amendment. I think everybody thinks they get to carry a gun. I think they read the Second Amendment wrong. But I don't know, how many amendments are there? Like 20? I don't believe in like 17 of them. I think, hey, they were fine the way the Founding Fathers did it.
Well, the chief executive of Dick's, whose father founded the store back in 1948, said this is deliberate. This is because of the Florida shooting.
Right. God bless
And
them.
Those kids are back at school for the first time this morning, a very emotional time.
So is Dick still alive?
No, I don't think he is. Edward Stack is 63, and it was his
The-
dad who
the
founded
last
it
name
in
is Stack?
48. Yeah.
Dick Stack?
If his name was Dick, who
Richard
knows if his
Stack.
name...
Oh, his name was Dick. Of course it was.
You don't think he just thought it sounded good?
No, who thinks that sounds good?
Let's name our store Dick's.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, Derek can find out if he's still alive, but if he founded this store in 1948,
Oh, that's one dead dick. I don't even have the guts to do it. I'll just start. Yeah, he's a stiff
oh, okay.
If he's dead, yeah.
and doesn't laugh a lot either way. A stiff. But anyway, God bless the guy and his company, and that's bitching. Well,
Yeah,
not
I
just
shop at
jokes. I'd
Dick's.
say that's awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah,
find
no,
it.
it looks like our beloved friend Richard Stack is no longer with us.
All right.
Rest in peace.
I got to find out how many amendments there are so I can see how many I don't care about.
Well, they're not cut and dried either.
Yeah.
Like one of them will have so many different facets, and how can you just throw the whole one out the window?
Yeah, with the baby. I don't know why you do that.
That's the bathwater.
Yeah, baby with the
Baby with the
bathwater.
bathwater
Why
out
do you
the
do that?
window.
Why would you caution me against it? If I have to tell you that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, Paul, you're a terrible dad.
You don't have to tell me that. 27 amendments.
I believe in 14 of them,
All right.
I guess.
All right.
Give me one, Paul. Give me an amendment, Paul.
Thou shalt not steal. I believe that's one of them.
I'm pretty sure that's not yeah, that is not an amendment, mister.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Wife and ass is what it actually says.
The 12th Amendment covers the election of president and vice president. What did we do before that? Just like they just put a guy in there?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's a bit odd. We should probably learn about
I
this.
think they found they wrote that how many terms you can serve and what length you can serve.
I'll give you an easy one. Amendment number 15, voting rights for all races. I'm going to guess you're for that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Amendment 16, federal income taxes. What are you?
No, I'm against that.
Okay.
It should be a voluntary thing. Okay? How much you going to pay in your neighborhood? $7. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
According to the Vera Institute, researchers have found.
You know Vera Wang?
Yeah.
That'd be cool if she got together with the owner of Dick's. It's the new company. It's Dix and Wang. They're coming out with a brand new thing.
Sell camouflage
Yeah.
wedding dresses.
That's genius.
Great idea, Danny.
Thank you.
I know a lot of places around this country that those would sell like hotcakes.
Dick, Wang.
Vera Institute researchers say that the racial gap in the nation's jails has narrowed in recent decades.
Good. Arrest more white people. That's my stance as governor.
Well, that's what they have
Yeah.
found. The white population in local jails across our country has been steadily climbing, while the black population has fallen. Black Americans are still 3.5 times more likely than whites to be incarcerated, despite making up only 13% of the overall population.
Wow, I would have never guessed that from movies and stuff and what you see.
It seems like it's 90 to 10,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, this report says that the number of black people in the country's local jails, 3,000, and that is a 12% decline between 1990 and 2013.
What's that stat?
So between, I just lost my years.
3,000 people.
2005 and 2013, that's when this study is,
Yeah.
that the number of black people behind bars has declined by 12%. The number of white people behind bars has doubled. Mainly, this is in rural areas and smaller cities, that they believe that the white communities in rural areas are having a lot of issues and those people
Yeah.
are going to jail.
Farmersfelons.com. It's a dating service. Shrimp?
Trip,
Trip.
not shrimp.
Trip,
I don't want to mislead you. Trip.
trip.
Not shrimp.
No. Don't confuse people, Paul.
You can
That
probably
could
buy some
be-
shrimp when you get there.
Yeah, you could. That could be a dating service of sorts too. Like, hey, I got this awesome new trip. You want to go on a date with me?
Oh, that's true.
Trip.
According to Politico, Jared Kushner has lost his clearance. The president's son-in-law and advisor had his security clearance downgraded, according to reports that surfaced yesterday. Kushner and all other White House staffers were working on interim clearances that allowed them access to the highest level of classified information. We're informed that we've got security clearance reshuffling, and President Trump said that he will leave the decision to his chief of staff, John Kelly. And they said, you know, these guys want security clearance, but I'm not going to make the decision. This is your job. You go ahead and make that decision. And it seems as though he has. And he says Jared Kushner does not need to have this.
So he can't be at the daily presidential briefings now.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of embarrassing for the guy.
I would agree.
I don't know how much of this he wanted to be involved in this greatly. I mean, a lot of the people in Trump's, not actual cabinet, but his, atmosphere,
circle.
if you will. Yeah. I don't know that they begged for all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of work. They're scrutinized like crazy. His daughter's getting yelled at all the time. His daughter posed for a picture with an Olympic skier or something like that. And the internet went crazy. Said, how can you dare be there? How could you pose with that? That's like the first daughter. I don't know if she's the first daughter. She's some daughter. She's not making these decisions. Why are we being so mean to everybody?
And Kushner still has top secret clearance in Russia, so that's okay.
Police in upstate New York say a woman charged with theft took a shower before speaking with authorities in an attempt to make it seem as if she hadn't robbed someone. The 29-year-old woman got a ride to her home by another woman that she didn't know, said, "Can I catch a ride with you? I'm down on my luck." She gave her the ride and then got her purse stolen. So this woman who stole the purse.
The lady stole the person who gave her a ride?
Yes.
All right.
The lady who stole the purse goes to her home, and the woman who had her purse stolen calls the cops and says, "Okay, I dropped her off over here." She thought if she got in the shower that they would think that she'd been home the whole time.
Right. I understand that plan.
And
You've
why
done
is
something
that?
similar, right?
Not in the shower. I was still dirty when they caught me.
It never works.
No, it does not work.
Like, you just got in that shower. We see footprints in the snow leading to your door.
Oh, snow's a dead giveaway. I've been here all night, haven't left the house. That's a quote.
Elvis Presley is running for a congressional seat
Really?
in Arkansas.
They should elect him.
Elvis D. Presley is an Elvis Presley, I almost said exterminator. What is it? Impersonator.
You don't get a lot of business as an Elvis Presley
I'll
exterminator.
bet you
but-
would. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
He performs as Elvis Presley, Elvis A. Presley, but he is Elvis D. Presley. But he now says he's ready for politics. And if you look at the pictures of his duties, he looks the part
Of a politician?
Yeah, or Elvis.
of Elvis.
All right.
The
Fat
skinnier,
Elvis or thin Elvis?
Skinnier, I'd say the in-between.
Do people do Fat Elvis like on purpose?
Yeah.
Really?
Not on purpose, but just because they...
'Cause this is the one I can do.
If I was looking for a job on a bad day, I'd go, okay, I'm going to go with Fat Elvis.
Oh, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
You were just talking about how you think sometimes places can have bad mojo.
Yes, I do.
Well, there is a house for sale in Arizona, in Paradise Valley.
Yeah, I know where that is. I jumped out of a plane there.
On purpose?
Yes. That's the kind of thing I don't just do. I'm going to jump out. No, there's a place to dive there.
Well, there's also a beautiful home that a woman named Linda Fine made an offer on. $1.8 million offer on
In Paradise Valley?
Yep. This was on a 4-bedroom, 4,000 square foot home spread across a 1 1/3 acre lot.
There's still not a word anywhere near that. There must be a thing.
I've seen pictures of the house. It is beautiful. I don't know anything about this area.
You know why I jumped out of a plane there? Why they have skydiving there and a plane and all that stuff? Because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
You do it in deserted places.
Well, remember, a lot of these places in Arizona are being purchased and made into new cities. So perhaps its proximity is close to one of those that Bill Gates says he's buying.
Maybe.
You know, a lot of these tech companies are starting to move to the middle of nowhere and making it somewhere. I'm not sure what is happening here, but she pulled out of her offer after discovering the home's past. It was the set of Wifey's World, a porn site founded in 1998. The owners of the home did indeed shoot porn inside the home. And she said she does not want to live in a home with that history.
No, and not because of a mojo thing and that. Just, could you imagine walking along and stepping in something? Remember I told you yesterday I stepped in something in my hallway and I didn't know what it was, but I was grossed out completely. Imagine if you step in something there.
Ew. In Arizona, there's no statute that says a porn film set history has to be disclosed when you list your house.
She just found it surfing online.
Yeah.
Because this kitchen looks really familiar.
She said, I just can't make Thanksgiving dinner on counters where a porn star has been lounging
No,
around.
she's right. Good call.
A Polish company is under fire for trying to sell some tasteless socks.
All right.
You're not supposed to eat the socks.
I got it.
The socks themselves are a little tasteless. The sock brand is called Nanushki, and
Nanushki.
you've seen themed socks,
Yeah.
right? You know, sometimes like the toes will be...
Yeah, they got that theme in the toes, and it drives you crazy when you walk. So they make themeless socks.
These are Adolf Hitler socks.
Well, that is tasteless.
When you put the sock on, it's your toes, it's the face. That's where the face and the eyes and everything are over at the toes, and then you pull them up and it just looks like regular socks, but your feet are Hitler faces.
But so you get to, if you're a crazy person and that's important to you, you're in Hitler socks.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I have themed socks. I have sushi socks. I have hedgehog socks, and y'all never see them, but I know I'm wearing them.
I have themed underwear, pizzas and Snoopy.
That's right. And thank you for not showing.
No problem. And they're your underwear.
That sounded really weird. It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay!
A woman was
Just mixing it
arrested
up.
for striking her boyfriend. Now, she says she has good cause. In a lot of these stories in Florida, it involves NASCAR, alcohol, and having a good time.
Yeah, okay.
Police went to the scene, and they said that the woman and the man were no longer in the same house. The man was at the house on Pink Panther Road. The woman had gone to the mart, the corner store.
Yeah.
Well, the person at the mart called the cops. She said, well, we were drinking alcohol and having a good time. And suddenly out of nowhere, I had to punch him in the face.
It'll happen.
So funny when girls do it to guys, when guys do it to girls. You
Yeah.
go, oh, that is dreadful. Everybody should be arrested.
He says, we were drinking alcohol, cooking, watching NASCAR, having a really good time. Then she punched me in the face. They dug a
So
little
far,
deeper.
their stories match up, right?
Yep. Turns out they were having a really good time, if you know what I mean. And then he stopped and said, "Oh, yeah, I forgot I was cooking dinner. I'll be back in a little while." Well, she didn't like that because they were in the middle of something. So she punched him, smashed the TV on the floor, and then went to the mart to continue with her good time.
Wow.
So they stopped doing stuff to finish making dinner. What do you think?
Can I tell you right now that if any girl I were making love to noticed I was gone enough to punch me in the face, I would be flattered.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Florida.
Oh, Danny, she should not be listening to that
No.
story. I want to remind you guys that Rick Jones.
Rick Jones!
will be joining us at 7:30 this morning in just over an hour. He will be here to answer all of your questions about divorce and child custody. Danny's been through several of these issues, and every week that he's here, it seems like you learn something
Learn a
new.
little something every single time. Things that would have saved me a lot of money.
Had you known at the time.
Yep.
And you always say, Danny, don't do it on your own.
No, I got to call one.
Trust the experts. So 7:30 this morning, Rick Jones.
Yeah, because no matter how friendly you guys think you are, like when it gets to the dividing of stuff and the kids, you're just all of a sudden everybody hates everybody. I wish it weren't that way, but it was that way. It's been that way for our callers. So yeah, be here at 7:30, kids.
When we come back from our short break, some great news for fans of Led Zeppelin. A big change for the Seattle Sounders, but for once, this is some good news, plus all the latest sports news next.
This traffic report is brought to you by Snoqualmie Casino in Sumner on State Route 167 northbound. As you approach 8th Street, there was an earlier accident that has been cleared, but you are still seeing a little bit of stop and go traffic. And you're also going to see some stop and go traffic on I-5 northbound in Tacoma between Highway 16 and Portland Avenue. The winter entertainment lineup at Snoqualmie Casino is out now. Enjoy live music from the Pack on March 2nd and 3rd. Enter the Haggis on March 17th and many more. Tickets are on sale now. Visit snowcasino.com. Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
You know, it's hard to believe that it is almost spring already. It's February 28th. That means March is tomorrow. Did you know the birthstone for March is aquamarine? Do you have somebody celebrating a birthday? You might want to get into Shane Company. Aquamarine is a sky blue gemstone, and the color is absolutely stunning. And Shane Company has a huge selection of exclusive aquamarine jewelry that you won't find anywhere else. Now, if you're thinking about all the different styles, all the different colors you can get, Shane Company's the place to go. Go to the store in Linwood. You're going to find beautiful purple amethyst. You're going to find blush tone morganite, which is a really trendy color for spring. She is going to love a gift from Shane Company and love it even more if it's got this beautiful color for springtime. Necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, you name it, you will find it at Shane Company. Plus, all of that gemstone jewelry at Shane Company is made to last a lifetime and comes with a free lifetime warranty. You can also shop online at shaneco.com. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by NHLSeattle.com. Lots of showers today. The rain will be coming in around noon and will continue into the evening. Highs around the mid-40s, and it's currently 40 in downtown Seattle. The next great moment in Seattle sports history is about to happen, and this is one you won't want to miss. NHL season ticket priority deposits will be accepted Thursday, March 1st. Go to NHLSeattle.com for more information. That was your weather. I'm Tori on 102.5 KZOK.
Starting with music news, we are giving you another chance to win tickets to see Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena with the new game sweeping the nation, Lose Your Head.
Lose your head.
720, win those tickets. And very good news for people like Tori who love Record Store Day.
Yeah.
Are you already in line?
Yeah, I am.
When is that?
I don't know the exact date. That's really
April
horrible.
21st is the next one. I'm ashamed of you.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of shocked.
Isn't that Hitler's
Even-
birthday?
No, that's April 20th.
Oh,
What? You don't know when Record Store Day is, but you do know when Hitler's birthday is?
She was only one day off.
I was wrong.
I don't think that cleans up your mess, young
No,
lady.
but we have to get this right. Paul is the one who knew who Hitler's birthday
That's
was.
true.
It's
Only
not
because
me.
I share a birthday with Hitler.
What's happening, first of all?
Paul shares a birthday with Hitler, and you share a birthday with
Alfred Hitchcock and Castro.
Fidel Castro. Hitchcock is the cool one, but if
Oh,
we're
I
gonna
should
be
find
comparing,
a
yeah.
Hitchcock. I should find
know
somebody
what? If
a
you-
little better than Hitler.
If you Google your birthday, there's at least 3 cool people.
Okay,
almost there.
I'll add
Tori,
that
who
in
else
from
was
now
born
on.
on Paul's birthday with Hitler? You let us know.
Who else was born on Record Store Day? Why doesn't she know when Record Store Day
Well,
is?
there's
Yeah.
several of them, so it's harder. I think it's just harder to keep track when they are. There's more than one a year, but the
She's been
next
nothing
one,
but a disappointment.
Joey Lawrence.
Whoa!
See what you did there? I hope you're proud of yourself now.
the next Record Store Day is Saturday, April 21st, and while she didn't know it, she will be in line because Led Zeppelin announced they will be releasing a 7-inch vinyl single featuring 2 previously unreleased recordings. The single is pressed on yellow vinyl. It features the Sunset Sound Mix.
I used to get those when I was a kid.
The yellow ones?
albums. You know what also was cool when I was a kid?
What's that?
Cutting 45s out of the back of a cereal box.
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Do you remember that? Did that happen in
I've
your
heard of
lifetime?
it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very cool.
Well, this is the Sunset Sound mix of rock and roll and the Olympic Studios mix of Friends. Now, these versions have not been released before, so this is a very cool vinyl coming out for
They're
Record
doing
Store
the
Day.
theme song to Friends.
I'll be there for you.
Yeah, it's a different song.
That's a different
Yeah.
song. All right.
The clapping is close, but a little different on the Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin version. A trio of speedy sports cars that once belonged to Paul McCartney, Rod Stewart, and Pink Floyd drummer Nick Mason will be part of an upcoming Bonhams auction that will be held in the UK. These
A what kind of auction?
Bonhams,
Bonhams, not bottoms.
B-O-N, Bonham.
Oh, because it'd be wrong to have a bottom auction. I'd sign up, but still.
This is happening on March 18th. Among the autos up for bid, a 1967 Lamborghini 400 GT 2x2, 2+2, originally owned by Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Now, he purchased the car. It's only one of 247 ever made. It is wine red and can reach a speed of 167 miles per hour.
So can your Kia.
It can?
Yeah, it's not that fast anymore. It's not
Oh.
even fast anymore. Like Nissans, certain four-door Nissans right off the factory can do like 180.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's impressive because it's a Lamborghini from
Right.
67 and
And,
Paul McCartney's,
butt
sat
print
in
is
there.
in the air.
That's pretty impressive.
Now, the price tag is not all that affordable. $560,000 to $700,000.
Yeah, I won't be getting that.
Another car going on the block is a 1991 Lamborghini Diablo that previously was owned by Rod Stewart. His butt sat there. He bought it as a Christmas present for himself.
Yeah, and he deserved it.
Okay, so this one's cherry red, and it can go up to 200 miles per hour.
Now we're going.
And that's more affordable. for some, 170,000 to 200,000. The third one is a 74 Ferrari, a Dino Spider, and that's the one owned by the Pink Floyd guy, Mason.
Yeah.
He was an avid vintage car collector, and this one can reach 140 miles an hour and is expected to go for about 600,000.
Ringo had
$600.
Ringo's Hyundai is up $7.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
He is accused of leaving his estranged wife's bank account in the cold. Laura Van Winkle is filing for divorce from Vanilla Ice. Rip Van Winkle, or whatever his name is. Pappy Van Winkle.
Sure.
She is now claiming that he has been hiding money and shuffling money from his bank accounts ahead of the divorce into other places where she theoretically can't find them.
The last time I Googled his net worth, I think it was $20 million.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was doing so well.
Well, his extreme sports store does very, very well, and he gets paid for that home show, and I believe he actually does real life home renovations.
Well, she wants the banks to have to give the court all of the records because she says he is hiding money, including a property they just sold for about $4 million.
Yeah, see, this guy's got the dough, man. And how long were they married?
I don't know how long they were married, but they do have 2 daughters together that are of like medium age, like under 10.
Oh, poor Rip Van Winkle, you're going to be paying for a while.
Oh, here we go. 1997.
So I wonder if she signed a prenup, or did he still have nothing?
1997?
No, he still had the store in the house.
Yeah.
I'll bet she signed a prenup. I don't know what she's fussing about.
Well, Vanilla Ice might want to call Rick Jones here on the
Rick
show
Jones.
at 7:30.
Yeah? Oh, that would actually not be a bad idea.
1990s. I don't know when that song came out, but I think she's going to get the loot.
Derek, if somebody calls in and says they're Vanilla Ice, just put them right through immediately.
Ice Ice Baby was released in 1990.
Okay, so he did have dough.
That was released in 1990? Wow. I would have thought the early 80s.
For this week's Variety cover story,
Man, I watched Todd Bridges beat him up so bad. I couldn't believe that it happened because I was scared for my friend Todd. I didn't know Vanilla at all, but he seemed tough and talked tough, and he had very tough people in his dressing room. He had that guy Tank, the MMA fighter, in there and everything. Oh, man, Todd Bridges. It's not only like he didn't know how to fight. It's like somebody taught him how to fight wrong. It couldn't have been more ridiculous. He'd like jump around and then shoot both his hands straight out beside him like he was yawning, and then Todd would punch him in the face.
For this week's Variety cover story, Barbara Streisand has revealed some pretty strange information. She had a dog that was 14 years old that she loved this dog, so much so she had it cloned not once, but twice.
But now, from the first cloning, did a dog happen?
Yes.
And then she did it again?
Yes.
And did she clone the original dog the
Or did she
second
clone
time?
the clone?
Clone the clone.
She cloned, they said they had she had somebody do this, extracted cells from her dogs.
It's not do-it-yourself at home cloning.
No, she had Josh Brolin do it. Come on, son.
The pooch's mouth and stomach. They extracted cells and then made a new baby puppy. A puppy.
Right.
And then when
And
that dog
baby
died,
puppy, they're called puppies.
Little teeny baby puppy.
a baby puppy.
Little baby puppy.
She says that they are similar and yet different all at the same time. She said, when I lost her, it was like losing a child. It was that kind of awful. So she cloned her dogs.
By the way, no, it's not. I will tell
It's
you
not
that
like
right
you-
now. It's
yeah.
not. I mean, I've never lost a child, but I've lost a bunch of dogs, mostly outside, and I go find them. But I don't care for it when people say, these dogs, they're like our children. Well, your kids are ugly. For dogs, they're adorable, but for kids, they're terrible looking.
Super creepy, I think.
Super creepy. I watched House Hunters International yesterday on a place called Aberdeen, Scotland, which apparently is nicer than I would have thought it was. But everything was about the dogs. But it's like, does this have enough place for the dog? That's $50 over my budget, and I could spend that on taking care of the dogs. Like, you have no life anymore because you're dogs.
Well, I also think somebody like Barbara Streisand, she's got these huge, beautiful properties. She's got so much money. There's so many dogs that need adopting.
That's very true.
And you're going to clone some cute dog?
Well,
Go
here's the
get a
thing,
cute
and
dog in a rescue.
I don't feel that this is going to be stop the press this information, but apparently She's a terrible person. I've never heard one kind word about her. And I like her a whole bunch. I like her husband better, the Brolin character. But yeah, I've never heard anybody say, oh, Barbara, she's easy to be around.
We've all been told we look like somebody before. I've gotten Sandra Bullock. Back in the olden days, I used to get Demi Moore. Recently, someone says I look like Jax's girlfriend from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all flattering.
Yeah.
Great. My aunt, when I was in high school, told me I looked like Barbara Streisand, and I was depressed for like 3 years.
Your aunt is a terrible person.
Yes.
But here's a quick question for you. Would you look exactly like Barbara Streisand for the money?
Yeah, actually, I would.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Like minimum $300 million on this lady.
Yeah, that's a good point. Would you look like Barbara Streisand
Yes, I
for the
would,
money?
absolutely. And somebody asked her, which I thought was amazing. They couched it nicer than I'm going to, but they said, have you ever thought about getting a nose job? And she said, yeah, all the time, which I thought was a good answer. And she said, but I was really afraid it would change the sound of my voice, so I didn't do it.
Oh.
Smart.
Yeah. Remember when Michael Jackson did the crazy nose? And at the end of his career, it's like, bad criminal. Make sure to put this right in the box.
We're going to put that right in your box. One of the biggest nights of the year in music will be taking place Sunday, March 11th, when your iHeartRadio Music Awards take over the Forum in Los Angeles, and we want to send you there. This is a really cool trip to see the show. The prize includes airfare, hotel, and of course, you're going to the show, and we've got more chances for you to win all day long. You just keep listening for the new keyword and the cue to text, and you could be headed to LA.
Yeah, awesome.
I forget what you thought the last keyword was, but you were wrong.
Right.
Shrimp. You thought it was shrimp.
Shrimp, yeah. It
was
was
Will you stop confusing people?
The time to text has passed, so we can say it was not shrimp.
There's a limit on what time?
I think so. I think you have to do it, close to when we say the keyword. I don't think you get forever.
I'm starting to feel like you're making that up.
Well, it can't because we're going to do another one here soon, so they can't overlap.
Right.
Otherwise, you're sending the wrong keyword.
Okay.
Either way, don't text shrimp.
Right.
Sports!
Sports.
Shrimp.
No.
Shrimp and sports are brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY, 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Yesterday, the Mariners played not one but two games, and they lost not one but two games.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
Turn it around.
Turn it around. Are they starting to doubt the whole good thing?
They're good. They
What's your motto? Good. Are you sure? Well, pretty good.
Yeah. Tomorrow, fair.
Fair.
It's going to be fair.
The Mariners lost to the Royals 14-9 and then to the Padres 11-6.
Mm-hmm.
Today's matchup is against the Cleveland Indians, 12:05 start time. Now, we often have theme nights when Safeco Field is full of regular season play.
I think they're awesome.
Fireworks night. We've got
Robin Cano bobblehead night.
That's right,
Robinson Cano, bobblehead night.
See?
Bark in the park. You can take your dog to the game.
Awesome.
Oftentimes, there's merchandise that is sold to go in conjunction with something. But Minneapolis is taking it to a whole new level, offering fans Prince Minnesota Twins gear. All season long, you can get baseball Prince mashups. So they've announced that it will be Prince branded gear that you can buy.
So first off, things are purple.
They'll be purple.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Minnesota Twins will have Prince shirts, hats, and baseballs. They'll have this ready to go as early as April 5th when the Twins play the Seattle Mariners. So if you were, say, to go to that park, which is supposed to be great, you can buy Prince-themed gear.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Some really good news for the Seattle Sounders, which they need after the big injury. The Seattle Sounders have signed South Korean defender Kim Ki-hee.
What?
That's his name, Kim Ki-hee.
Then why are you laughing at
Yeah,
him?
poor guy.
Ki-hee.
That's a very popular name in South Korea, and I think you're shameful.
It sounded like I was laughing. I'm not.
It
It does sound like you're laughing, yeah.
Now, this is 5 days before the season opener. They made this announcement. Kim comes to the Sounders from Shanghai Shenhua of the Chinese Super League. He is 28 years old, and they said he's got a lot of experience, and he will be ready to play here for the Seattle Sounders,
Nice.
who open their season on Sunday against Los Angeles FC.
And what's his position again?
He is a defender.
A defender.
Yeah. So he's not going to replace Jordan Morris,
Nope.
who's out
Who
this
can
season,
replace
but-
Jordan Morris?
Right, exactly. Well, somebody should. 'Cause they shouldn't just play without like one less player. That
That's a
wouldn't
good
work.
point, Paul. In college hoops
I
tomorrow.
wonder if every time that Michael Jackson sang a song, Mr. He said, "Oh, that's my name."
Tomorrow in basketball, UW faces Oregon State at 8 and WSU faces Oregon 6 p.m. And don't forget, we have got tickets on sale now for Whiskey Rocks. It is just about a week and a half away.
Wow, we have a lot going on.
Yes, we do. March 10th, inside the Terrace Club at Safeco Field. Now, we were talking about this, we have been talking about this a lot because it's a great event, and we want you guys to get your tickets now at whiskeyrocksnw.com. But I remember last year, there were some people that whiskey wasn't necessarily their favorite thing in the world, but they would go with somebody who it was.
Yeah.
Danny, you're going.
I don't drink at all, and I had a great time.
Right. I mean, there are going to be so many bands. There's going to be food. We are all going to be there. And for those of you who do love whiskey, this is a great chance to try 100 of the best whiskeys and bourbons from around the world.
You know, screaming alcoholic that I am, I think I probably tasted whiskey at some point in my life where there was no other booze. But if you're not ready for whiskey, if you never had it before, so I don't really feel like I've ever had it. When I look at it now that I'm a grown up,
Yeah.
and people with that big ice ball
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
middle
yeah.
of their drink and stuff like sophisticated stuff like that, oh man, I should totally relapse. That's what I think.
No, you should
Yeah,
totally
that's exactly
not.
what I think, man. I don't do it, but I think I should.
WhiskeyRocksNW.com for more info and, of course, to get those tickets. VIP tickets have sold out, but GA tickets are going fast, so
Is that
get
right?
those now.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. VIP tickets all sold out?
Yeah, it just happened.
So get those now because the whole thing will sell out. You
Yeah.
want to go hang out with all of us. Oh, yeah, and the whiskey. And that's your look at sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA.
In Linwood on I-5 southbound at I-405, we do have an incident blocking the carpool lane. And over in Sumner on State Route 167 northbound, as you approach 8th Street, there was an earlier accident that has been cleared, but you're still seeing some stop-and-go traffic, about a 15-minute delay. This traffic report was brought to you by Sherry's Restaurants. Sherry's Springberry Pancakes are here. Choose from blueberry, raspberry, or triple berry toppings with whipped cream and powdered sugar on a stack of fresh, fluffy buttermilk pancakes for just $6.99. Add eggs, breakfast meat, and hash browns for $3 more. Sherry's, simply great food. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
It is 7:01, and I have 2 words for you.
Yes.
You have to say what?
What are those 2
I'm not
words,
talking
Danny?
now.
What 2
What?
words are
Totally
they?
skipped me. Rick Jones!
Rick
Jones!
Rick Jones will be in this studio in just about a half an hour, and he will answer. He's like the biggest. His law firm is, I believe, the biggest family law in the state of Washington.
They're the best. I know that.
Yeah. So if you want, what did they divorce you? So anyway, if at 7:30, if you need to know anything, not only free of charge, you don't have to hire your lawyer. Which, by the way, at the end of it, this is a very smart idea. But like, you can get in before he does or she does, if you know what I'm saying. Things are just still tepid. You're not sure what to do. Call this show this morning, 7:30. Rick Jones.
There are a lot of people who call and say, I'm thinking about
Right.
getting divorced, but I'm not sure.
And just as importantly, people, if you're thinking, I'm pretty sure he's going to divorce me. I'm pretty sure she's going to divorce me. Yeah, you should call because she's totally going to divorce you.
And Rick Jones will say, don't just think about it. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this thing. Clock's ticking.
Well, we also talked about this earlier, that you do learn a lot from Rick Jones when he comes in here. And
Every time.
hopefully none of us are going to need his services. But
Oh, no, she's been acting up.
but it is interesting to learn about all the different
Yeah.
facets of divorce. And, we learned something a bit odd yesterday on the show. Italy, what was it? Vatican Radio. First, we learned that that's a real
Yeah,
thing.
that's the
Right.
thing.
It's on the iHeartRadio
I
app.
should so be doing mornings there.
On the Vatican Radio.
Yeah.
Your Italian and your Latin is right up there.
Yeah. I capisce Italiano, por favor.
Well, we were surprised to learn that Vatican Radio is a legit radio source that, yes, you can listen to on the iHeartRadio app. But the reason we were talking about it is that was the source of a story out of Italy that the Vatican is holding a special seminar get together for all of the holy higher ups, so to speak, to talk about exorcism,
Sure.
because they are doing thousands and thousands of exorcisms and get requests by the boatloads.
I think it's a language barrier thing. I think somebody looked at many of the fat priests. Said, you could use some exercise. And they went, there's exorcism.
But think about maybe parents, and the kids are in their teenage years and they are starting to act out a little bit. Maybe they're drinking, breaking curfew, doing something they're not supposed to do, having adult relations.
Oh, you got to get the demon out right
Gotta
away.
get the
Right
demon
away.
out.
Yeah.
And they're concerned about people going to tarot card readers, which I was surprised to learn. There are a lot of exorcisms and people going to tarot card readers.
Sure,
I didn't
I'm
know
surprised.
that many people.
Often we hear, and the word gypsy comes out along. I believe that's pejorative, but in this story I'm talking about, they talk about gypsy psychics ending up with all your money, draining your bank accounts. Like, run something green across my hands. Like, pick food coloring here, for God's sakes. But millions of dollars people give over to their psychics.
It's really surprising to learn that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And you just would think people got smarter.
You would think
They
that.
haven't, but there's a lot of that. Something that you are surprised to learn happens a lot or happens at all.
Yeah, it's one thing to say you're a hippie, but it's another thing to go the distance. When I met Paul, I couldn't believe he used cloth diapers
Oh, yeah.
and washed them again and then reuse. Who does that when there's Huggies, man? Oh, they'll go to a landfill. That's where they belong. There's poop on them. But yeah, I could
That's a
not
good
believe
one.
that Paul and or other people
Yep.
go to that extreme for whatever reasons that they do it, for clear con, whatever, help the environment. I would help the environment up to needing Huggies, and then I go, oh, Huggies.
a great
The
example.
environment can.
Well, you guys listening, what is something you are surprised to learn happens at all or even happens a lot? Let us know. Call 800-252-1025.
You know, I said this morning, and it was Paul that gave me the idea of something that I just can't believe people do. And that is, you say, oh, no, I'm helping the environment, but I don't know what you do at home. And then sure enough, he uses cloth diapers. Who does that? I didn't know anybody did that anymore. Didn't know anybody did since the turn of the century.
Well, he doesn't like to go to the bathroom. That's far down the hall. So.
Okay, it was for my kid, and she's 6 now and well potty trained. We don't use them anymore.
Well, yeah, we started talking about this because it turns out Italy is doing a lot of exorcisms. And we're asking the question at 800-252-1025, what is something you are surprised to learn happens a lot or happens at all? Cloth diapers, I am with you. But along the same lines, composting. People actually do that.
Is this just going to be all about me today?
Yes.
They have that toilet, a compost toilet. Have you ever seen it?
I have. I've had to use one.
Where?
I went to an eco lodge in Mexico, and that's all they had was composting toilets.
Well, that's disgusting.
It's a little weird. It's a regular toilet. It's just at the bottom.
No, it's not a regular toilet at all.
This one was regular throne, but you don't flush.
Right. Well, in that case, everything that a toilet does that makes it not a chair, it doesn't do. No, it's gross and disgusting.
And people choose to have that in their home just to be eco-conscious?
Yeah, craziness.
No.
Craziness.
I am surprised to learn that happens at all.
So what's the question?
The question is, what is something you are surprised to learn happens a lot or even happens at all?
Yeah.
Let's talk to your friend Bill in Lakewood.
Hiya, Bill in Lakewood.
Hey, can I say hi to Tori real quick?
Sure, man.
Hi,
Hey,
Bill.
Tori.
Hi.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
Good.
All right,
haven't
Bill.
spoken to you in a while.
You're creepy. Go ahead and tell us, what are you surprised to learn happens a lot or even happens at all?
Why am I creepy? I was just saying hello.
Hi, Tori.
Come on, Bill.
Yeah, come on, Bill. Let's get to the show, man.
All right. Well, this will be our last call, I think.
Wow. Bill.
So people who stop at stop signs that don't need to anymore, instead of rolling right through them, people who actually pull up to an intersection and stop, like, we were taught to do years ago when we learned how to drive.
Yeah.
And I see it so often. People blow through stop signs. They don't do the California roll. They don't, slow down and look. They just cruise right on through it like it wasn't even there.
No, I do that 4 times on my way to work.
And you say no cop, no stop.
That's exactly what I say.
Right.
And I see cop. I hope he's not looking. And I do it anyway. All right. Well, that was Bill Lakewood's last call. I don't know why.
Thanks,
I have a
Bill.
thing about people calling up the show and thinking, this is my thing, I can't believe, that they think it's all about them. And then I thought, oh, it's kind of all about them now. I think about it. Whatever you want to do there.
Well, the
Bill.
other person who loves to do that has a nickname. Creepy Brian in Chicago.
Right.
We love
See?
the guy.
You're
but
Bill
that's
in
his
Lakewood.
nickname.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hi, Tori.
How about you call up and you say, hi, this is Bill. Up a Bill. You can do that, but it's taken.
Bill from Lakewood, guys.
I'm going to miss Bill.
It looks like you're not going to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
By the way,
baby.
have you ever met him?
No.
He's a very grumpy person. That would probably be his last call. Don't do it, Bill, your stupid face. Call
We
back
love
later.
you, Bill.
We love
Well,
you, Bill.
calling him stupid face isn't going to
Oh,
help.
Bill knows.
The question we're asking is, what is something you are surprised to learn happens a lot or happens at all for that matter? Let's talk to Jeremiah in Seattle.
Hey, good morning, Sunshine.
Good morning, sweetheart. What's up?
I won't bail on you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, this kind of goes along with Sarah's. Animal waste turning the buck, making the fertilizer and everything. I mean, it's all profit, and they use it for fertilizer so much, and it's like, it's just a natural thing.
Wait, so like a dog goes and you pick it up and you put it somewhere that's not
Normally
garbage?
farm animals, but
Oh.
Yeah.
So you do this too, Paul?
yeah, we do with
Weirdo.
both chicken and rabbit.
And you go
We put it in the compost pile, or we reuse it directly right into the garden.
What if you kill a chicken and put it in the compost? Will that work?
No, we don't do that. We don't put any meat into our compost.
Oh, you should have standards in your poop
Mostly,
drawer?
you don't want to attract rodents. So if you just have a big pile of meat out in your yard,
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
He also has bears.
yeah, bears, wolves, whatever. You don't want things coming in after that meat. So no.
No, you don't.
What are you surprised to learn
I'm
happens a lot?
sorry. Do you want a big pile of meat in your
No,
yard?
I don't want a pile of compost. I run very few piles in my house.
What is something you're surprised to learn happens a lot? Italy doing a lot of exorcisms. Turns out Paul's not the only one who does use cloth diapers.
No, a bunch of hippie communists.
Not
do that.
anymore. Let's be
Why are
clear
you so
about
tender
that.
about that? We all know you don't use them anymore.
I'm not currently
Your
wearing a cloth
Your
diaper.
daughter's like 33.
Good morning, Michelle in Bellevue.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am surprised how many damn Californians move here to Washington, hog up the 405, throw on a Seahawk jersey, and consider themselves Seattleites.
I don't know about the last part where you consider yourself a Seattleite. When I first moved here, and people would ask, well, how do you like Seattle? I go, God, I love it. It's awesome here. And they'd say, well, don't tell your friends. I always thought they were kidding. And then I realized, oh, they're dead serious.
Yeah.
They don't want me to tell the friends from Los Angeles how great Seattle is because they'll move here.
Yep.
I got yelled at yesterday for referring to the 90 as the 90.
Yeah, that was weird because she said, these damn Californians clogging up the 405.
That's what reminded me.
Which is a very Californian thing to say.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about
Really from there?
Snoqualmie Casino, and I said, well, you just hop on the I-90. And Greg said, no, man, you don't hop on the I-90, you hop on the 90. It's a big deal.
No, you don't hop on the anything. You hop on 90. Yeah.
In Los Angeles, you hop on the 10, you hop on the 405.
No the.
You hop off a lot of stuff if you're in Guam.
Yo, in Olympia, what is something you're surprised to learn happens?
Good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people? Yo, you should know better.
Well, this is Yo's last call, so.
Damn it.
What's up, darling?
Okay, I was surprised to see people doing yoga and having baby goats jump on them while they do it. What?
Goat yoga.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
real.
gag. I thought we had fought when we started reporting on it and talk about it and playing goats edits to songs. I thought it was like a chop on us. You read the fake news. You fell for it. There's real goat yoga.
Yeah.
People actually, I'd do it. If I was going to do yoga at all, I'd do goat yoga. You see that lady that wasn't arrested, but the Children's Services went to her house. She was doing baby yoga, and she's swinging this baby around and balancing it and stuff. It looked really fun,
dangerous.
unless you're the baby with a soft skull. And then it looked like problematic to me.
It looked really fun. She's swinging a
Dude,
baby
it was
around.
Like, it was like, ooh, and then you bounce, and then, you catch you. By the way, I'm doing it. If you're wondering what's happening, I'm doing baby yoga.
The other weird part about
KZOK.com to watch the video.
the goat yoga is that they don't control going number 2. So you could be going to yoga, and then the goat's just leaving those little pellets everywhere.
Yeah.
They are pellets, right?
Yeah.
I like to
put
do
that in your garden.
I like to do curry goat yoga. And then, so I just eat a bunch and then say I'm too full to do this crap.
What is something you are surprised to learn happens? Trucker Rob in Seattle.
Hey, good morning, Danny, you beautiful person, you.
How you doing, Trucker Rob? What's up, buddy?
Hey, not too bad. I got one I'm going to touch on, and I think you can relate to this. You know, you and I are about pretty much close to the same age. You got a couple years on me. But I think the one thing I'm surprised it still happens is manners. And I'll tell you why. Because, you know, when we were raised as kids, you know, it was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And as adults, you know, you always open the door for your wife or your girlfriend. And, you know, and you don't see that no more. I mean, I see these younger kids who think everything is owed to them on a silver platter. That, you know, when you go in, they go in behind, you know, they go in first, leave the girlfriend behind. You know, they don't say thank you, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And I'll tell you what, Danny, it irritates the living hell out of me. And I want to bitch slap every one of these little young punks that do that.
Oh, if I had $1 for every kid I slapped right in the face. You didn't say thank you for this. But no, I got to say, Trucker Rob is absolutely right on this. The lack of manners and civility today is absolutely awful.
Paul, what is something you're surprised to learn happens?
I'm surprised to see people still smoking cigarettes.
Yes.
Me too.
Not just like the health ramifications that we're all, you know, our doctors no longer recommend. That
No,
they
you're
don't-
ostracized now. You're choosing
right,
to be
it's
that
become
guy.
such a hassle. The cost involved, like you have
really
to.
expensive.
Yeah. So
I forget, I did the math a couple of times, but I think in today's money, I was smoking about $750 a month.
yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
moly.
it's crazy. You can't do that.
Tori, is
What am I
something
gonna
you're
do with
surprised to
blow money?
learn happens?
I'm surprised people willingly eat fugu and like seafood that's still moving.
Guilty.
Way to relate to the masses, I think. For those of you that don't know, fugu is a puffer fish that if you eat it and you don't extract the parts of the liver appropriately, you can theoretically die. I personally don't believe that, but you can get very sick.
Yes, a lot of people in Japan have been getting sick this
Right.
year from it during pufferfish season, or fugu season, as Tori calls it. But because it's just so dangerous, is that why it surprises you?
Yeah, I think that's really weird. And there's a lot of weird things, you know, in
That people put
Asian
in their mouth.
seafood. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying
I
to
will
say.
tell you this, little Tori, if you want to eat peyote and you get it like right out of the desert and something, you have to cut the strychnine out of it yourself.
I was planning on doing that.
Yeah,
So
I've never taken peyote, and I think it'd be a scream.
Derek, what about you?
Every year around Christmas, I still have friends or family who tell me they're going out into the woods to cut down a tree. And I think that's just asinine because we have tree stands where you can just buy one.
Yeah,
when I want
Somebody
chocolate,
had to cut it out of the
While
woods.
wearing cloth diapers.
if I want a glass of chocolate milk, I don't go milk a brown cow.
Why
You
not?
know, I'm going to go to the store and buy it. It's crazy.
Oh, wow, look at the time. We need to get ready to play Lose Your Head.
Lose your head.
You can win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena. If you want to play, call us right now at 800-252-1025. We are playing the new game, Sweeping the Nation, Lose Your Head, for
Lose
your
your head.
chance to win a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
I know what that means.
You said lose your head, and Danny's like, I will.
The game Lose Your Head. You will win tickets to Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena. To win this wacky game, you will have to correctly identify the group of fans from Danny's Clue. So far, we have had deadheads and cheeseheads.
Yeah.
A little bit of a pattern here. Are you ready to get our contestant?
I am.
All right, Mike in Tacoma, buddy, are you there?
I am.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys this morning?
I think we're all doing very well. Thank you. Let me ask you this. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Usually.
All right. Do you understand the rules of the game?
I think so.
Then here we go. This group of fans lose their heads over a herb that is widely acknowledged to have strong medicinal properties, yet its use is still controversial to some. If you believe in stereotypes, then these fans can often be found in the company of hacky sacks, patchouli oil, Doritos, and Bob Marley t-shirts, and they are not parrot heads, but can you name this group of fans that lose their heads?
Oh, I think I can.
Wow,
That'd
I
be
couldn't.
a pothead.
Yeah, it is. I didn't get it. It was the first one I didn't
You
get.
didn't?
No, I didn't get it.
Potheads.
Potheads is correct, Mike in Tacoma. And because you knew that, you are headed to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to pick up your tickets to Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena. We will have another chance for you guys to win tomorrow at 7:20 Jimmy Buffett tickets by playing Lose Your Head.
I got another prize for you coming right up, and you don't even have to win it. It's called Rick Jones. Rick Jones!
Rick Jones!
Hey, Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones is in studio now. Morning, buddy. How are you?
Hey, great.
Cool. Thanks for coming in. Always, we were talking about, I learned something every single time when you do this. But here's what's happening. You should probably call right now, 1-800-252-1025. If you're thinking about getting a divorce, if somebody's thinking about divorcing you, you want the house, you want the kids, whatever it is, if you want to understand the rules of the game, this is an opportunity to call Rick Jones right now, free of charge, 1-800-252-1025.
This traffic report is brought to you by Taco Bell. On I-5 southbound in Linwood at I-405, we have an accident currently blocking the shoulder, and you're also going to see some slow traffic in Tacoma on I-5 northbound as you make your way between Highway 16 and Portland Avenue. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce are very real and delicious. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
All right, there's just about 2 minutes till you can talk to Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones. So I would suggest, I don't know that I'm ever going to get to say this or not. There are some phone lines available. 1-800-252-1025. 2 minutes to talk to Rick Jones. Call right now.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino. Lots of rain headed our way today. Showers coming in around noon and will continue into the evening. Highs around the mid-40s, and it's currently 41 in downtown Seattle. Get ready to laugh out loud on Thursdays at 8 p.m. with LOL Comedy Nights at Muckleshoot Casino. Enjoy a full night of boisterous, joyful, free entertainment inside Club Galaxy. Visit muckleshootcasino.com for showtimes. Muckleshoot Casino, the biggest and best in the Northwest. That was your weather. I'm Tori on 102.5 KZOK.
All right, here's the deal. We have Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones. He sponsors us every single day, and we really appreciate it. He's from 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com and get a hold of him right now. Good morning, Rick Jones.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you, buddy?
Superb.
Yes, you are, sir. It's your best day. I like your hair. Anyway, if you would like to talk to Rick Jones, if you got questions, hey, somebody's getting the house, somebody's getting the kids, how much are these payments going to be every single month for the next 18 years? Can you tell I'm still a little bit bitter? You should call right now, 1-800-252-1025. All right, let's go.
Let's go. We'll start with Alex in Bellevue. You're on with Rick Jones of 1-800-DIVORCE and Danny Bonaducci.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. What's up?
Well, so my baby mama is trying to move to California for a job, and she's trying to take my kid with her. So we have joint custody in our parenting plan. I have custodial rights as well, and the visitation is, it's minimal, but I have custodial rights, 50-50 custodial rights. So what do I do?
All right.
Well, the ball's actually in her court legally. Take a look at that parenting plan that you've got. How long ago, by the way, was that done? How many years ago?
About 4 years ago.
Okay. Take a look towards the back of the parenting plan, and there's going to be a section called relocation. And it's going to be very specific, almost a roadmap in terms of what somebody has to do, what hoops they have to jump over if they're attempting to relocate. So basically what she's going to have to do is she's going to have to provide you with a notice of intent to relocate, along with a proposed parenting plan that reflects the new long-distance nature.
Right.
Now, when you get that, that doesn't mean she just gets to go. It means, though, that the clock is ticking on you because that's not filed with the court. What you need to do is if you want to object to her relocation because she's the primary parent, then you need to file with the court what's called an objection to relocation. At that point, the court's going to freeze everything for a period of time, and there's going to be an analysis of whether or not she's allowed to go. Now, my news isn't all rosy for you, though, as well, because there's a lot of leeway given to the primary parent. So they'll examine what her motives are. If her motives are things like going to a location with greater family support or going to a new job or traveling with a current husband, those are the types of things that the courts commonly grant a relocation.
Oh, wow.
However, if she is going to meet up with somebody that she met on Facebook or something a little bit more specious, I guess, than that, then you certainly have a chance of keeping her here. The biggest thing I want you to hear, though, from me is you get to stop the processes for a period of time. Again, I don't know what her motivation is, but sometimes people's motivations are short-term incentives.
Right.
So if you can just hang in and just keep her here, keep her here, keep her here, you have a good chance of prevailing.
That the incentive, whatever it was that was making her go and calling her name, might evaporate.
Correct. The job might go away. The new boyfriend might go away. All sorts of things might change. So it's what I call a battle of attrition. Hang in there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was excellently done, man.
Good luck to you, Alex. There are phone lines open if you would like to talk with Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call right now, 800-252-1025. He is in studio giving you free legal advice. This is a great time to call, so do that right now. John in Seattle, you are next.
Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's all good. What do you got for us?
So my wife and I were wanting to get divorced. We've been married a little over 2 years. About 3 months into our marriage, her job relocated her to California. I'm still here in Washington. We tried to make the long-distance thing work. Didn't really work out that well. I was just curious, do we need to file for divorce in Washington where I live or California where she lives? Are there advantages one way or another?
Well, there's a couple of advantages, but the answer is an easy one, too, which is you file in Washington. The two of you lived together here while in Washington. You don't have any connections to California. The other benefit is that Washington, you can get this done in 90 days. California has a similar requirement, but their court systems are significantly backed up.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually get this started and finished in 90 days in Washington. So why wouldn't you go the quick route, especially when it sounds like they're full agreement? You have no kids, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, go the Washington route.
Yeah, I will tell you this. Thank you very much for the call. And we have some phone lines open right now, 1-800-252-1025. But I always tell you, if you have questions, call Rick Jones. You're here. I'll ask you a question. I looked at my divorce decree yesterday because you taught me a thing or two. I was looking at my son turned 17 exactly 2 weeks ago on Valentine's Day. And I said, wow, one more year and this kid is off the payroll. And Amy, because she's a ball buster, said, oh, I don't know that that's true. You may, because of where he stands age-wise, you may have to pay until he's out of high school. To which I said, nay, nay. And we looked it up, and I don't have to do it. So the parenting decree and the divorce decree both say on his 18th birthday. Are there any surprises that I can look for? Is that it?
I think that's going to be it. First of all, I'm surprised that it doesn't say until finishes high school. But the law is what the law is, and you have what's called law of the case.
All right, look at me go!
Look at you,
man. This kid had gone to MIT and bought a mansion with this money by now.
But so, if the kid goes to school, are you on the hook for that?
College, absolutely. But Bonaducci children going to college is a rarity. It's like right around up there with seeing Bigfoot.
If you've got a question for Rick Jones, call right now, 800-252-1025. A lot of people have questions about getting divorced. We did get an email from a guy named Nick in Ballard who said, Danny always says there's no such thing as an uncontested or a friendly divorce.
Right.
But I'm positive that my soon-to-be ex-wife and I can be grown-ups in this situation. Are there some cheap, easy avenues for an uncontested divorce? No kids.
Why, yes, there is.
I beg to differ, Mr. Lawyer Pants.
It's extremely few and far between. So in the biggest picture of things, Danny is 99.5% right.
Right, because everybody's friendly at the beginning when you think this is a great idea.
Correct.
And then it goes south every time that I've been aware of. But then again, I've only been divorced twice. What do I know?
Well, and no kids, no assets, I think is different. In your case, Danny, you had a lot of both.
Right.
2 kids.
Not the first time around.
However, that very small portion that's not picked
Right.
up by your correctness.
Thank you.
Genius. He prefers to call it his genius.
That's my actual title now. You're correct.
You're correct.
Can be resolved from a website that we operate here locally called Washington Divorce Online.
Washington Divorce Online, is that a .com thing?
It is.
WashingtonDivorce.com. So check that out because that'd be great if people could do that.
Say it again. What's the correct website?
Washington Divorce Online.
.com.
.com. And the best thing about that is, number one, you don't have to even interact with an attorney. You go online for a very affordable fee, $249, in fact.
That's a great fee, man.
You're able to provide us all the information necessary to create the initial set of filing documents, also the set of final documents as well. We provide that back to you. It's drafted by a paralegal, reviewed by an attorney. Provide that back to you with detailed instructions on how to complete the process.
That's amazing.
All right, not to disagree with my esteemed lawyer friend, but let me just say this. You just wait. She'll change her tune. You know who's going to change their tune? Her new boyfriend's going to change her tune. That's what's going to happen to you. Wait and see.
I love your selling point, though. You don't even have to interact with
Right.
an attorney. You guys aren't that bad.
No, you're okay.
I know all the lawyer jokes, but I mean, come on, you're great.
All right, let's go to
It's so easy to get married these days that I know there are a lot of people that just need to get it done. So that's great. One more time of that website.
WashingtonDivorceOnline.com.
Thank you. Let's go to Justin in Seattle. You are on with Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones at 1-800-DIVORCE.
Hey, Rick and you people.
Hey, what do you mean, you people?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. You know, Rick, I had a question that one of the earlier callers had a little bit. I've got a girlfriend. We've been together for about 5 years now, and she has a son from a previous boyfriend that walked away before he was ever born. And there's no paperwork, anything other than just the child support that he pays. And we're getting ready to move to Idaho here in a few months. What kind of resistance might we meet with that? It's not really a divorce question, I understand.
Right. Well, you're in a different set of circumstances.
And it's a character question, I think, on the guy, right?
Well, I think that it's not just the question, it's the answer. He's already kind of walked away.
When
right?
she was still pregnant.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, that was the thing. And you sucked it up. When your 15-year-old girlfriend was pregnant, you stood around and said, okay, let's get married. This guy walked away from a pregnant woman. He's the scum of the earth. You don't want him in your life. And I will tell you this, he's not coming back around.
Yeah. Well, unlike that first question, there is no existing parenting plan. So there's not a created formal obligation. You might argue that there's a moral obligation, but Danny's kind of right. I think the moral obligation ended with his actions. So there's no formal requirement that she has to even notify him of the relocation.
And if this gets sticky, and this is just for fun. This doesn't sound like that fun of a thing, but I'm going to go with fun. Say this guy comes back into your life for any good reason at all. That's when you tell him, oh, man, this is not your baby. And then the testing takes forever to do, and he'll fade away.
And then the child support goes away.
Exactly. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
That's why he's the lawyer, Danny. We've got Rick Jones in studio taking your calls about all things divorce. You still can talk to him this morning by calling us right now at 800-252-1025. Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones. The next caller is Sissy in Issaquah.
Hey, Sissy.
Hello.
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 All right, what's
Yes.
your question for Rick Jones?
Well, my question is my daughter was married to a gentleman who got deported 7 years ago.
Right.
Now, is she still married? Is it voided? Does she still have to get a divorce? What would her options be?
Well, yeah, she's still married.
She's totally still married.
Yeah, there's no immigration connection to divorce with anything automatic. But as we've talked about several times now on the show, there's ways to get this accomplished. If they're in any communication whatsoever, my guess is he's willing to sign something to allow the divorce to happen up here because they, again, live together up here while married. And then if he's not locatable, then as long as you go through the process and demonstrate to the court that you've attempted reasonable efforts to locate him, then you can have alternate means of service as well.
All right. Man, I'll tell you this right now. Deportation said you're not married anymore. That's totally the route I'd have gone with my first wife. I just called up from the bathroom. Hey, man, immigration, can you come to this house right away?
Our next caller to talk with Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones 1-800-DIVORCE is Jane in Tacoma.
Hey, Jane.
Hi there, Danny. Hi, Mr. Jones.
Hello.
My question this morning is about restorative maintenance.
Restorative maintenance.
Restorative maintenance. I received funds at the time of the decree of our legal separation. I was awarded maintenance for 2 years, but the economic conditions after the Great Recession really had put us into that place where no more maintenance could really reasonably be ordered. I'm wondering at this point in time, given how other assets have not been correctly handled, should I be able to go to the court and request restorative spousal maintenance for the assets which didn't get dealt with at the time?
Wow.
Well, let's get to the crux of the question, but I think you're making this a little bit more complicated by trying to switch titles on something. Usually when a maintenance provision is put into a decree, whether it's the separation like you had or the final converted divorce, it's going to be for a period of time, in this case the 2 years. It's also very likely to be called non-modifiable. Even if it doesn't say that in the terms of the decree, there's a presumption that it's non-modifiable. So you're usually kind of stuck with it. Any attempt to modify it would have had to happen within that first 2 years. Now, again, the crux is I'm also hearing, though, that there was requirements in a divorce regarding asset division that he hasn't complied with. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So now what you need to do is be back in front of the court on what's called a motion to enforce. If it says, hey, he was supposed to transfer $150,000 from the home equity that we had at the time, but he hasn't done it, that's the question you want to pose in front of the court. So, in other words, let's keep it simple on this one, but I think there's some relief for you.
All right.
All right. That's good news. It didn't sound like good news at first. John in Port Orchard, you are on with Danny Bonaducci and Rick Jones of 1-800-DIVORCE.
Hey, John.
Hey, what's up, Danny? Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
My son is dating a girl. They live in separate residences. I'm thinking that they're going to start living together soon. You know, they live in separate places now. So if they do, and she has a child, is there a time period where they live together with this child, and let's say they break up after, 6 months, 8 months, a year later, is he going to be liable for child support with this child?
Mm-hmm. Is she receiving child support already from the father?
No, I don't think the father is a working father, and he has health issues, and so
Has he been identified at least as the father? Is he on the birth certificate?
Yes.
Okay.
He is the father on the birth certificate.
Okay. Then I'm going to give you the potential for bad news, although I'm going to tell you this is extremely rare, especially under the circumstances you've described. The only potential that he may be on the hook for some level of support is, let's say that they do get together, they do get married, and then during the pending time between being married and getting divorced later in time, then he may be on the hook for what's called temporary support of that child. Now, again, I think the odds of that happening are literally less than 5%, maybe significantly less than that, because the courts recognize while they want to do everything in their power to support a child, it's not his child.
What if they don't get married? Is there any chance he'd be on the hook if they never get married?
No.
So there you go, John. Just tell him not to get married.
Yeah. Here's a weird one.
How does that help me?
Here's a weird one, Rick Jones, that I was shocked about. So Robert De Niro's kid's around 4 or 5 years old. And for some reason, they get a paternity test, and it's not his kid. Maybe in the divorce. And the judge says, you accepted that kid as your child and paid its bills. You're going to continue to pay that kid's. Paying the bills for a kid that turned out not to be yours, does that seem fair to you, Rick Jones?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. And we do see that.
You do?
And it's gut-wrenching or heart-wrenching as well. Here's the philosophy, and again, maybe this isn't my voice, but I'm going to share with you what the court's voice or the law's voice is on that. Is that really a raw deal for the guy in question, the non-father? And everybody says, yeah, of course. But the flip side is, if there is not an obligation put on him, the person that gets the raw end of that deal is the child.
It's the kid, yeah.
Right.
We've got time for a couple more calls. Corey in Puyallup, you're on with Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men.
Hey, Corey.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You're more than welcome.
I was calling about my daughter. She's been divorced for about a year, and we can't locate the ex-husband to get his name off the title of her car. She's also on a title of his car. He is an uninsured, license-free driver.
Yeah.
We do know where he works, and so I told her if she's got the other key to his car, we'll just go and get her car from his work, and then he can contact her, and we can meet at the DMV and get his name off of her car and her name off of his.
What
Is
you
there
wanna
another
do?
option?
I'm sorry, what was that end part?
What's that?
What was the very last few words? I was asking you a question and I didn't hear it.
Is there a different option? Can we just take the divorce papers in and get her name off the title of his car and vice versa?
You know, the answer to that is no. If it was about getting his name off of the lease or the financing of it, then the lender can choose to do that because it's not a right, it's not an entitlement. But no, the state in this case doesn't have the ability, or the county doesn't have the ability to take away a beneficial right of his. So the things you're talking about doing are what I call self-help, and there's usually a lot of pitfalls involved in self-help. However, the court process is not an easy one either, which is you can do what's called a motion to enforce, basically setting up a court date where he shows up or he doesn't. If he shows up, the court's going to give him a period of time to comply. If he doesn't show up, then they have some other tools at their disposal. They could involve what's called a special master. But now we're getting to the point that it's not even fun radio. So if you need to hear more, please give me a call.
All right.
Got time for a couple more quick calls. Miranda in Auburn, you are next.
Hey, Miranda.
Hi, daddies. So my daughter is turning a year old on Monday. Yay!
Yay.
And her dad left me when I was pregnant, and then right before I had the baby, he decided to come back. We did the paternity test. The paternity test came back that he was the father. But now we have a paternity pretrial coming up because I'm on state assistance, and I was just wondering what should I expect at that, because my schedule is really busy, and I don't really have time for like a whole bunch of court stuff.
No, she's busy
and he's
changing
never
baby
denied
daddies.
that he's the father.
Say that last part again.
He's never denied that he's the father.
Okay. Well, what's happening is the state is stepping in. Again, the reason why they're stepping in is because of you being on public assistance. They're giving you money. They're trying to recoup the money that they're giving you by reaching somebody who has a financial obligation in him. The way to look at this is basically you're getting a free attorney. So take whatever time is necessary to allow them to help you.
Oh, neat.
What's going to happen is they're going to establish, again, confirm the paternity. They're going to assign a financial child support obligation on him that's going to last for now, at least another 17 years. So stick with this.
This is pretty important.
Do we have time for a couple more?
We do. Let's go to Laura in Tacoma.
Hey, Laura.
Hi. I have a question. I got divorced a couple of years ago and was awarded alimony, and my alimony has stopped.
Okay.
My ex has not been paying me the alimony for quite some time, and I'm wondering, is it going to be worth it for me to go to court to get his wages garnished or what?
Well, a couple things. I want to clarify. We talked about spousal maintenance before on an earlier caller. Spousal maintenance and alimony are really the same idea, the same concept. In Washington, they call it spousal maintenance, but for our purposes, we'll go with what she's called it.
And by the way, just on a personal note, I would take this rat bastard to court just because I could. I don't like this guy. I don't like the way he treats you. I think you should get a lawyer and you should sue him. Rick Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
And the fact that you mentioned garnishment possibilities, it sounds like then he is gainfully employed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely do want to take him back to court for several reasons. Obviously, is you want somebody else that has a little bit more power than you do to try and enforce this. The court has the power of what's called contempt, which has all sorts of arms, all sorts of levels of strength, including putting him in jail if he's not doing something that he's capable of doing. So I would strongly recommend doing that. It's also what's called, as I mentioned, it's called a contempt motion. A remedy for contempt is that you're likely to be reimbursed. They're likely to order that he pays your attorney fees on this.
Wow, that's a good one.
All right, it's Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones in studio. One last quick call before we let you go. It is Chris in Tacoma.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
It's all good.
So basically, I have 50-50 custody of my son, and I've been there since he was born and everything. I pay child support. But I want to move to South Carolina with my new wife for more family support because we have none up here. So what would be my odds of being able to move with him?
Boy, that's a tough one, and we keep coming, 360 on this issue of relocation.
Is she going to fight you for this? Or is she going to say, okay, it's best for the
Most
kid?
likely, he tried to kick me out of his life when he was like 1 year old, but I gathered a whole book of evidence took her to court and won 50-50.
Wow.
So yeah, she's going to fight this.
Yeah.
and here's the problem I hear with it, though, is the fact that it's 50-50. Unlike the situation we were talking about before where I gave somebody bad news because he was not the primary parent and that the courts really offer a favoritism, perhaps appropriately to a primary parent. In your case, you don't have a primary parent. You're both standing on equal footing. So while you can certainly attempt, you can provide a notice of relocation because, again, at least it puts the onus on her to formally object. My worry is that ultimately, if the court's looking at this, they may look at it and say, all right, well, it's already 50-50. In a perfect world, we'd rather the child not be uprooted from whatever family exists right here that he or she presently has, whatever friends, whatever school, if anything like that exists. So I don't think it's a great move on your part. I don't predict high levels of success.
Wow. I didn't expect that one.
Well, if anyone else has further questions, Rick Jones is available at 1-800-DIVORCE or goldbergjones.com. Thank you.
Or getahappydivorce.com. What the hell was that?
WashingtonDivorceOnline.com.
WashingtonDivorceOnline.com. Okay, I got it this time for sure. Thanks, Rick Jones.
Thank you.
This traffic report is brought to you by Taco Bell in Snoqualmie on State Route 18 eastbound. As you approach I-90, we do have an accident causing some pretty heavy delays, about 25 minutes. And you're also seeing some stop-and-go traffic on I-5 northbound in Seattle as you make your way between the Boeing Access Road and Seneca Street, about a 20-minute delay in that area. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce are very real and delicious. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
It is 8:02 in the morning. Let me remind you, we're giving away a trip to Los Angeles to the iHeart Music Awards here, how this works. We would very much like to send you to the iHeart Radio Music Awards in Los Angeles. A great getaway, including airfare, deluxe hotel accommodations, all sorts of stuff. You'll have another chance to win coming up very soon. Just listen for the new keyword and then text it away.
Heather Locklear still in big trouble for a brawl she got in, arrested for domestic violence, attacked her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's had several marriages, and it turns out that this was her high school sweetheart. And they got back together 40 years later. It was true love. Then they got into a fight, and you're like, well, how's the mugshot? And then the news came out that she almost bit off his nose. And you were like, hell yeah.
Well, it's just that it's such a serious play, you know, that not only you're going to hurt somebody real bad, but you're going to leave a mark you're going to disfigure a guy. This lady's seriously mad. My dad was a biter. And sometimes when he'd be mad, when he'd hit us, and he'd like grab his head, and you could see it was grab your head, and you could see it's what comes. It's the next natural move.
Yikes!
He'd grab your head, and then your whole nose would be in his mouth, and you're 6, man, for God's sakes, and he'd go because he's forcing himself not to bite his kid's face off. But anyway, you bite a guy's face off. You're playing in a very serious pool, and I got to tell you, I don't know what the guy did to her, but I admire it. Not what he did to her biting his face off.
You admired Heather Locklear for almost biting off her boyfriend's nose. That's
I'm only deducting points for not getting it all.
Yeah, that's an unusual thing that attracts you to someone.
Oh, that's vicious, which is different. But when I was growing up, I grew up doing karate to keep me busy and all that stuff, and then I got good at it. But when a black belt girl or woman would show up, I always dug it, and not just because of the dedication it takes to get up in a high rank, but you know, if they could use what they had learned, and she was slightly dangerous, I always liked that.
Well, it's unusual. You know, like we teased Tori that she likes guys who play in bands. She likes the guitarist. That's not unusual. Chicks like the guitarist.
I have not married one girl that doesn't like the guitarist.
But it's an unusual characteristic that you like somebody who has like kung fu fighting skills.
Not only has them, but has now shown a propensity for using them. She'll do it.
Well, you guys listening, what's an unusual characteristic that you like? Let us know by calling 800-252-1025.
All right, I will tell you this. By the way, real quick, how good was Rick Jones today?
Awesome.
I just thought he was absolutely amazing. So here's the thing we were talking about that I kind of like Heather Locklear's craziness. I know I shouldn't like crazy girls or crazy people that do any kind of damage, but I'll just be honest with you. They have a certain appeal for me to you. And so the question is, what is a really surprising attribute that you find attractive about somebody? 1-800-252-1025.
Good morning, Larry and Polsbo.
Hey, Larry.
Good morning. How are you?
We're all well, thank you. What's up?
Well, I find it unusual to find a woman that could cook as well as I do. It seems like it's almost a lost art.
It is. It is an almost lost art, but I will tell you this. Have you ever tried any of the things called Blue Apron or Yellow Carrot or whatever? You know what I'm talking about, Larry?
Yeah, some different types of veggies, that kind of stuff.
Well, no, they send you an entire
meal
gourmet meal
service.
in a box with and the best thing about it is there's no leftovers. So if you're going to have some kind of, fish taco Tuesdays with cilantro and this and that and the baby carrots, they're all in there. So it's almost like cooking instruction to get them done. They're not easy to do. So maybe you should try some of that, because I know what you mean. I never found being able to cook that appealing. I like going to restaurants, and for the last few years I've had the money, but Amy cooks and it's awesome.
He's saying he needs an Amy.
Right. He needs somebody.
Can cook. He needs to get
No.
purple carrot for this lady.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. If I didn't convey it, I apologize. But here's the thing. He doesn't need an Amy. I don't think that she can cook with Larry.
No.
No, I don't. I think
He's
Gary
right
might
that
be
it's a lost
great
art.
at it. Yeah, Gary might be great at it.
Trucker Mike calling from Linwood. What's an unusual characteristic that you like?
And Trucker Mike, what's up?
Hey, good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Hey, well, as you know, Trucker Rob is my twin brother, and I'll tell you what, there's one thing, we both drive trucks for a living, which you guys well know, and I'll tell you what, that is predominantly a male, strong industry.
Oh, yeah.
Hard not, no ands, ands, or buts. But what we find, any woman who can do what we do, get up in the bed of these semis, drive an 18-wheeler up and down I-5 on a 53-foot tractor with 30, 40, 50,000 pounds on it, I'm going to tell you what, that is as sexy gets. That is an instant turn-on. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Well, maybe some butts if,
If you're lucky,
But
yeah.
I will tell you this, that I know one thing. When you meet a lady that drives a big rig, she's automatically fascinating. Like, we don't all have to find her sexy and everything like Trucker for the purpose of this call-in segment. But the second you meet a lady who makes her living trucking, I am riveted to what you
We
do.
have a listener who,
Yeah,
she's
Trucker Mary, maybe.
Trucker.
We have so many truckers now, and we
Yeah.
stopped making them prove it. They used to, when they'd call in, we'd have them honk the horn.
That
I'm
kid's
sorry,
m-
I forget your name, honey.
That kid's mom, a mother trucker, when she calls in.
Mike in Sultan, an unusual characteristic that you like?
Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Stinky Sexy Abaducci.
Good morning, buddy.
Hey, I'm about 5'10", and I've always wanted to date a girl that was like 6'5", 6'6".
Wow.
Well, real tall girls that aren't bizarre, if you will, by their height, are the height you want in heels. I used to date this girl that was, I think she was 6 feet tall, maybe 6'1", but she went out of her way when she realized I dug that she was so much taller than I. She'd put her arm around me on the top and things like that, that she used to wear her heels and become about 6'4", 6'5". And I thought it was really cool, and she thought it was really cool, but she burned out on it really fast and started going out with a guy that was 6'5".
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And Alex in Tacoma, what's an unusual characteristic that you like?
I like a redhead that's just on the verge of insanity, but really not there enough to make your life interesting.
I'll tell you right now, if I was a girl, I'd be your woman.
He said a verge of insanity, but not quite
full blown,
there.
Yeah.
You've stepped over that line.
But I'm with you. Like when I said Heather Locklear biting that dude's face made me like her a little bit more.
Yeah.
There is something about that, and there's also something about redheads specifically, which I was unaware of. Do you know? I'll just say it. On the porn categories where you can pick what you like, the weird acts or whatever people are hip to. I kind of don't like anything specific, but redheads is a big category.
I bet. Yeah. Tori, is there an unusual characteristic you like? I mean, we know you like the guitarist, but an unusual one?
I like guys who are just into progressive rock music, but I can't really find anybody who's under 50.
It's not super popular.
Well, here you want a trick?
Yeah.
Because you're my friend, I will teach you this trick. Tell boys that's what you want them to like first, and you will be surprised how many of them now like it.
You just started a new music trend, Tori.
Yeah. bat your freaking eyes around the place. Wear the nurse outfit that you wear on Halloween or whatever day that is, and say, "I like guys into progressive rock," and they'll go, "That's amazing! I'm totally into progressive rock."
Paula, is there an unusual characteristic you like?
I like smart asses. I like sarcasm. I like maybe even a little bit of snarkiness. Yeah. I like,
so you want someone just like yourself?
That's what I'm saying. That would wear really thin.
Oh, no, it's fun. Even if you do it to the point where you get on each other's nerves, it's fun.
So he's describing Holiday.
Yeah.
See, I don't know enough about Holiday. I know she hates us, which makes her a smart woman.
Yep, she's snarky.
Oh, she's snarky?
Yeah, absolutely.
Derek, an unusual characteristic you like?
It might be a little strange, but I think it's super cute when a chick will be in bed next to you and she falls asleep and she starts snoring. It's almost like you guys both have cats. Like, does your cat ever snore? And it's like cute
All the time, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
it's like it's cute when a girl snores.
I don't want to have the conversation that you're bugging me, so I nudge them real hard and pretend I'm asleep.
Your cat or your wife?
Whatever you got, I don't care.
This traffic report is brought to you by Taco Bell. In Snoqualmie, we have an accident on State Route 18 eastbound as you approach I-90, causing close to a 30-minute delay. And you're just going to see some stop-and-go traffic on I-5 northbound as you make your way between Boeing Access Road and Seneca Street in Seattle. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce are very real and delicious. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Hey, let's talk about 3010 Weight Loss for Life. If your weight has been holding you back and you're ready to make a change, I think you need to call 3010 Weight Loss for Life. Or, of course, you can find them online. Here's the thing. There's an expression that I actually used to use a long time ago, that nothing's as delicious as thin feels. And what that is, it's a reference to the fact that you're always hungry on your stupid diet. Well, don't diet. Change your plan. Find out about the food you're putting into your system. Go to the coaches at 3010 Weight Loss for Life, and they'll put you straight. And then you don't have to make a bunch of decisions while you're starving. You're not hungry with 3010 Weight Loss for Life. You follow the plan, follow the recipes, and you will not be hungry. And you'll be the big one, skinny. It's pretty damn awesome. I've said this before. I will say it again. Lost all 40 of my pounds and have kept it off for a very long time. I'm very happy about all of this. So if you want to go to 3010 Weight Loss for Life, you should, because tens of thousands of pounds have been lost that way. Give them a call. Here's the phone number for 3010 Weight Loss for Life. It's 855-843-3010. That's 855-843-3010. Or you can go to 3010weightlossforlife.com.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Aer Lingus. Lots of rain headed our way, showers coming in around noon, and that will continue into the evening tonight. Highs around the mid-40s, and it's currently 41 in downtown Seattle. It's never too late to plan that spring getaway. Aer Lingus, Ireland's airline, invites you to discover Europe this spring. Fly from SeaTac to Dublin and connect to 25 European destinations, including Rome, Paris, and Amsterdam. Smart Flies Aer Lingus, that's www.airlingus.com. That was your weather. I'm Tori on 102.5 KZOK.
One of the nation's largest sports retailers, Dick's Sporting Goods, announced this morning that they are immediately ending sales of all assault-style rifles in its store. The retailer, found here in Washington, also said that they would no longer sell high-capacity magazines. They will also not sell any guns to anyone under the age of 21, regardless of local laws.
Now, if you're the crazy people, and we have less of them in this great state than in others, but if you think the world's going to come to an end, if I can't get an assault rifle and my kid can't get one when he's 20 until he's 21 or anything like that, watch how the world doesn't stop now.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't think about it, your world will not have changed 1 inch because Dick's, in my opinion, did the right thing and stopped selling assault rifles to anybody. Kind of like what pharmacy said no more to cigarettes.
It was CVS.
CVS.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big part of their income stream. And I don't know if people loyalty shop. I certainly would. If I had a choice of a couple different pharmacies, I'd go with that one. So kudos for Dick's.
Amazon is expanding its home security business by buying Ring.
Yeah.
Which makes Wi-Fi connected cameras and doorbells. The deal comes months after they started selling their own Wi-Fi connected indoor security cameras that work with their voice assistant Alexa. But the Ring acquisition will help Amazon to better compete with Google's Nest, which also makes cameras and doorbells.
Somebody just got rich. That guy on TV says, "Hi, I'm Dave Brown, and I'm the owner and inventor of Ring." That guy just got really. They didn't release how much money it was, but it's a bunch. And I think they'll do very well buying Ring. I think people all the way around, because it's a smart invention. It really is.
Well, that's the American dream, man. Make a great invention and then sell it for $1 billion.
There used to be other American dream. There was make a product that is addicting. It costs a quarter to make and sells for $1. That's now addicting people to stuff doesn't sound like that good a business. So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
That's the one that you have, Ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, the video on that, the video clarity is
Isn't
fantastic.
that cool? Yeah. Well, you watched my wife fall down the stairs several times.
Over and over, yeah. With her there, not just on my own.
In her underwear. What's up, Paul?
There is a new delivery service out there called Imperfect, and they launched a few weeks ago in
Imperfect?
Imperfect.
All right.
They launched a few weeks ago in Tacoma zip codes, but plan on rolling out to the rest of Washington. This is Ugly Produce. Now, we know that if the produce is ugly, it doesn't fly off the shelves. So if you have a misshapen zucchini, people don't buy it. So that's wasteful.
There is a commercial for Angry Orchard cider that they make. And they said some of the best cider is from really ugly apples. And they show it. They said 20% of our apples are this ugly. And those are the ones that taste best. I would almost relapse for cider.
Well, they're going to have ugly produce delivered to your home. Imperfect will also sell excess produce. Some of it's ugly, some of it's not. But they said so much fruit and vegetables gets wasted because it's ugly.
Yeah.
So embrace the ugly and you can...
But it'll still be good and they'll vouch for that?
Yep.
Because I think when fruit gets gross looking, it's because it's turned.
No, I mean, mostly it's misshapen.
Yeah, it's stuff that they pick and is not the right shape or size for them to send to stores.
Oh.
Yep.
So they send to this service. It's actually pretty popular in Europe to have stores that just sell, for lack of a better term, the reject produce.
And it's they charge the same or less?
No, it's less. So you get a deal because you get a bumpy pear.
Man, that worked for a chick. Okay, you're going to marry this chick. She's homely, but it's going to cost you a lot less later.
Seattleites enjoy a lot of local perks with various airlines. And, like, what's his butt? The crabby hour guy you like? The big tall guy.
Tom
Douglas. Some of his food is sold on airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
Beecher's cheese.
Yeah.
And now Molly Moon's will be on JetBlue.
Nice.
Now, they have started to do the new Mint service out of SeaTac.
What's that?
It's their version of first class. It is called Mint. And when I saw this, I started looking, and it's surprisingly affordable because, flying first class or business class is not affordable by any stretch.
Well, I've never done it on my own dime.
It's really affordable on JetBlue, and Molly Moons will be part of this new Mint menu leaving out of Seattle.
All right.
So it's kind of fun when you are on a flight and you're going to some far-off destination, but you get a bit of Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scientists, this is a terrible story to segue into, but scientists are now speaking out again about the obesity issue in our country.
Yeah.
Published this week in the journal Pediatrics, we are seeing a downward trend. Now, we are so well informed these days, you would think that perhaps severe obesity in children would be going down.
No, and Paul pointed out today that he's always shocked when he sees anybody still smokes.
Yeah.
And I go, how do you still do that? If you don't care about your health, how are you not caring that you're probably shunned by most people?
Well, this is children, so it's likely...
They shouldn't smoke at all, or at least cut back.
It's likely parents, that the number of obese children is increasing a lot.
Oh.
1 in 5 adolescents are affected by obesity, according to this study. This, again, is from the journal Pediatrics. And this rate has tripled since the 1970s.
I'm happy to point out at every break I get that I started my first very serious diet in 1972 at the ripe old age of 12 because people started telling me I was fat to my face.
Aww.
Yeah, hippie bastards.
A cracked teapot that was made in South Carolina stunned the auction world by selling in England for just shy of $1 million.
Are you sure it wasn't crack and a teapot?
Crack's not that pricey, is it?
That's true.
This is a tiny teapot. It's about 3.5 inches high, 5 inches across. It's missing its lid. It's got a crack. However, it is something that's being attributed to the first known porcelain manufacturer, a man named John Bartlam, who built a factory in South Carolina in the 1760s, and it's the birth of American porcelain. So this is history, a piece of American history.
Are there other porcelain, Chinese porcelain from the Ming Dynasty ones? They go for $1 million all the time.
Well, what's so wild about this one is an antiques enthusiast found the teapot in England and bought it for $20.
Oh.
I said, this looks like it might be something. Bought it for $20. And turns out the person who bought it is a museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City.
I'm shocked how that stuff goes. There was a guy I was watching a show. I've only seen it a couple of times, but it's always been interesting, called My Strange Inheritance. You ever see it?
I've heard of it.
Well, there was about this coin that was given down to the guy, took it to a coin shop. I think it might have been local, maybe. That's why it stood out to me. And left, dropped it off so he could have it appraised and do all this stuff to it. Turned out to be worth, to make this as fast as possible, $1 million.
Wow.
You know what the dealer did?
What?
Called the guy back up and said, I really can't accept it. It's worth $1 million. And what's wrong with you? It's
You wanted
America.
him to steal it.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
bought it for $50.
Wow.
Bought
Are you
it fair
saying
and square.
so you wanted him to just say fair and square?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. But that didn't happen. But they ended up being partners, so everybody got
Nice.
$500,000 rich.
Speaking of coins, the latest studies are in. Each year, the original Tooth Fairy poll, the results come in. And it turns out that the money paid out by the Tooth Fairy has gone down.
Good.
$4.60 on average, down to $4.13.
Per tooth, that's still high.
Still way high. Those rotten kids can get a job.
Right.
Well, then you're going to put the Tooth Fairy out of work.
I would look right at that kid and I would say, hey, if you're old enough for your teeth to start falling out, you're old enough to get a job.
3-year-old.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
Don't act like a baby. Oh, sorry.
Canadian kids are getting more than American kids for their teeth.
But is that in Canadian dollars, which are worth nothing?
It is American dollars, $5.25.
Wow.
And I'm not really sure why, but Japanese children get like $70.
I got to tell you, in some ways, about certain things, the Japanese can be very strange. When you go to rent a house in Japan, there's a thing called key money, which is like 3 months rent. And you forget that in like Japan, rent's $8 billion.
Yeah.
And none of that applies to what you're going to get. It's a gift to get the key.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Remind me not
India.
to move there.
Okay. Don't don't move to Japan, Sarah.
But if you do, lose some teeth. That way you can get some key money.
A terrible story making news out of Arizona. Police say a pair of teenagers were planning to shoot up a high school and were arrested after they started a GoFundMe campaign to raise money for the ammunition they needed. Police were alerted after somebody saw the GoFundMe and said, this is a little bit strange.
They put that as the reason? Hey, we're trying to raise money for ammunition to shoot up our school?
Did they say that part? To shoot up the school?
Yep.
Oh, you can't do that.
The ammunition is expensive. We needed to shoot up Combs High School.
How much money had they gathered by the time the police found it? I bet there was some.
Maybe somebody thought it was a joke, but eventually somebody did turn them in. I mean, because they're GoFundMes for tons of stuff.
Sure.
Ammunition to shoot up a school. Well, they're behind bars.
Good. That's where they belong.
Yeah.
If their teeth fall out while they're there, give them nothing.
Vice President Pence said yesterday he is predicting that legal abortion will end in the United States in our time. He said, I know in my heart of hearts that this will be the generation that restores life in America. This was at a luncheon hosted in Nashville by a group of anti-abortion supporters.
I believe that he is wrong, to be honest with you.
I think you are correct.
Be illegal in the United States, because here's what happens. You don't think about it when you hear that. You go, oh, well, aren't we all high and mighty? But then you hear this. Okay, now your daughter is going to go to Tijuana for an abortion. How do you feel about that? And then everybody will start to reconsider. That's my theory.
The average American household pays $2,197 in property taxes each year. But according to the latest studies, some states are getting hit much harder. Red states are having lower property taxes than the blue states. And the one who pays the highest real estate property taxes, New Jersey.
New Jersey?
New Jersey.
We got to be pretty high up on that list, though, right?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. At number 2, Illinois, followed by New Hampshire, Connecticut, Wisconsin, Texas, Nebraska, Vermont, Michigan, Rhode Island, and New York are tied at 10. We are number 29.
Really? That surprises me.
Really?
That's low. Like we're in like middle to
it's weird,
low end of the deal.
I would have been with Paul, at least that we're in the top 10, because we have no income tax.
Right.
Here in the state.
And the
So
value of our property is so much
that you have to get it. You have to get it back somehow.
Well, I mean, yeah, number 29. Wow. I was pretty surprised. Although that also might not be taking into consideration the taxes.
17% increase we just had.
Exactly. A Nebraska man who was being questioned by authorities was caught on surveillance trying to do something illegal while in the police interrogation room.
Have fun in any way, shape, or form. They hate that.
Not even just illegal, just plain old stupid. You've been in those rooms, right?
I have.
Now, when you went in that room...
In several states and countries.
Would you ever have thought, okay, here I am in the police interrogation room. They're going to be questioning me. They're not watching, and I can just do whatever I want, like hide my crack cocaine in the ceiling.
Yeah, no, I would assume they were watching. You know what I like? Because I watch a lot of these cop shows and weird shows like that. When a person's been arrested and they get on the jail phone to their mother or whoever and say, hey, kill Bob.
Right.
He's the only one to make sure to kill Bob. How can you not know that the jailhouse phone's recording you?
The only time that camera is off in the interrogation room is when they're beating you with a phone book.
Right.
That's when somebody went in and flipped the little toggle switch.
Wow.
I don't know why there's a toggle switch.
Okay, Grandpa, what year did they beat you with a phone book? Who's got a phone book?
I've seen it in the movies.
Yeah, I've never seen
Gotta
it
be
again.
true.
Well, in this case, Nebraska.
Yeah.
The guy gets taken into custody. He gets put in the interrogation room. And then he decides to get up on a chair, get up on the table, and try to hide his crack cocaine in the ceiling. Then they realize like he's too short. Then he tries to put the chair on top of it. And the cops come in and said, you're at the flipping police station and you put a chair up and try to get in the ceiling? How stupid are you?
Did he answer?
Well, they said that they had to get somebody to come in and properly go up there so nobody got hurt. And yeah, they found a white baggie full of crack. Dumbass. New York State Police say a woman is facing driving while intoxicated charges after she drove to the police station to pick up her brother, who was in custody for driving while
Sure, that's gonna happen.
intoxicated. It happens far more frequently than it should.
Yeah, no, well, it never should because you want to be allowed out ever again. I know people that have pulled up at drug court, specifically people with drugs. Like, how do you not know that's a bad idea?
Well, this woman's brother was busted for DUI. He blew a .29.
Okay, that's drunk.
More than 3 times the legal limit. So he calls and says,
Then she understands that because she's also geesed.
she gets to the police station. They realize that she's intoxicated. .22.
Wow. Oh, showed
No
up in a
word.
tutu.
No word on if they were drinking together.
That's crazy.
Everybody loves meatballs, right?
Yeah, sure.
Pennsylvania State Police say troopers responded this week to a meatball robbery at a residence. 48-year-old Lehman Potter of Sugarloaf is accused of the theft. Police say that there was a pot of meatballs that were stolen. Now, the pot was found outside of a residence, and when police arrived, it was the red sauce that did him in. Red sauce all over his face.
Oh, yeah, that guy is busted. Yeah, Amy's a big meatball fan. I mean, but I would think if somebody comes into your house and there's a chance that guy could go to prison for this act and he steals your meatballs, I'm going to be kind of flattered, to be honest.
Because your meatballs are just that good.
That
he's willing to
good,
go to
he
prison
broke
for
into
it.
somebody's house, mine, and stole them.
Yeah. I think of the way olden days when the beautiful mom would bake a pie and put it in the windowsill.
Yeah,
cool.
Aunt Pete.
Yeah.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
And then somebody comes by and steals it?
That was Huckleberry Hound.
Yes.
Pretty sure.
Huckleberry Hound is my favorite Mark Twain character.
What? No.
I mean, what the hell, man?
Let it go.
Yeah.
It is Friday.
That guy. Oh, that dog.
Firemen were called in to help a 60-year-old man, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And he got his who's it stuck in a metal ring.
Yeah, what was it? Why was he putting it in there?
That's the question that they did not answer. Oh, I fell.
Yeah, that's the one. That is the one.
Again.
Why don't y'all know that's not going to end well?
It's not going to end well.
Well, the fire department, they said it took them about half an hour to cut the ring away.
Oh.
And they would not disclose how it got stuck there.
Well, he put his who's-its in it. That's how.
Have you ever gotten a bill for something and you're just so angry you want to do something about it?
Yes.
And usually you don't. You just get angry and then either you refuse to pay it and then you have to pay more, or you just write the check and forget about it. Not in Florida. A woman was very upset about how much her water bills were, so she decided to send a message to the city by paying the bill in pennies. $493 worth of pennies. She took video of herself carrying 49,300 pennies with her to the city's office.
And when
to
you
pay.
say carrying, I don't think that she could carry that many.
No.
pounds. She wheelbarrowing.
Yeah.
It's in like a little red flyer
Oh,
yeah,
wagon.
a wagon.
wagon. I was like, is that a wagon or a
Yeah.
sled? It's Friday. What do
I
we
know what
know
that
on this
means.
show?
I know what that means.
What day is it really?
Wednesday.
Okay. I'm embarrassed that Danny knew that and not us.
What's Steve Slayton's name?
Steve Slayton.
Oh.
Otherwise known as Silver Fox.
Oh, look at him go.
Or silver spoons.
Yes. That's when he rides in on his private train.
A Dubai garden celebrated its new partnership with Walt Disney by breaking a Guinness World Record with a 60-foot tall Mickey Mouse topiary.
I like it.
Its Mickey Mouse topiary sculpture, they said, is gigantic. It measures 59 feet.
It's a big Mickey.
Oh, sorry, 59 feet at plus 3 inches. It's composed of nearly 1,000 different plants and flowers and weighs 35 tons.
Wow.
That's a big Mickey.
That's a huge Mickey. I'm going to Disneyland this weekend. I will. There's Mickey and Minnie topiaries all over the place there.
Yes, not as big.
Not as
this is
big, no.
Dubai. But maybe you can plan that for your next weekend getaway.
Is there now going to be a Disneyland Dubai?
It's a new partnership, Walt Disney and Dubai. They've got the Dubai Miracle Garden that's got Disney characters that will be opening up soon. I don't know if they're putting in like the full amusement park.
Well, here's the thing, though, because I would first thing I would think is world's biggest roller coaster. That's got to be what they do. But Disney doesn't do things like straight up roller coasters. They do the fantasy ride kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I'll be interested to see what this is.
Disney's really making a push to, I think, modernize. They've just redone everything in Paris, and they've got all like the latest rides, whatever it is, not Pirates of the Caribbean, but whatever the latest one of those is.
Right.
Harry Potter, I don't even know what they are.
Harry Potter, I believe, is Universal Studios
Yeah.
because they jump. I know who it is. It's
Who?
Black Panther.
Oh yeah, because that's
probably.
all Disney.
That's all
now.
Disney.
We are going to take a short break. When we return, some bold words from the drummer of the Rolling Stones. This is a bold talk for a one-eyed fat man
Yeah.
who has two eyes and is not fat. So you'll need to hear that story and some changes in store for football next season, next in sports.
This traffic report is brought to you by Taco Bell in Bothell on 405 southbound. As you approach Highway 527, we do have an accident blocking the right lane, causing about a 10-minute delay. And you're also going to see some stop-and-go traffic in Seattle on I-5 northbound as you make your way from Mid-Boeing Field all the way through up to Seneca Street. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries, covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce, are very real and delicious. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Starting with music news, if you are wondering, tomorrow at 7:20, we will indeed give you another chance to win tickets to see Jimmy Buffett June 23rd at Key Arena playing Lose Your Head.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie Watts, the Rolling Stones drummer, he is 76 years old.
Yeah.
The band has announced a tour in the UK. This is the first they have toured in 5 years. It's been a while since they toured in their homeland. But he gave an interview and said if the band ended tomorrow, that would be fine with him.
Okay, that stops me from buying a ticket. If you're not still thrilled to be a Rolling Stone, then you need to put on that show. I watched I think Sunshine, I forget what it was, but I watched something about the Rolling Stones, and Mick works his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
If he's tired, he's super rich, he wouldn't do it. He does it because he rocks out.
Well, this is what he had to say. I love playing the drums, and I love playing with Mick and Keith and Ronnie. I don't know about the rest of it. It wouldn't bother me if the Rolling Stones said it's enough. So he said, I don't know what I would do if I stopped. Keith is a great one for saying, once you're going, keep going. The big worry for me is that there are huge gaps between shows. And, if we decide to wrap it up as a band, he's okay with that.
Wow. And he doesn't know what he would do, though?
Yeah,
because I told Keith Richards, I said, learn how to play guitar. We'll go to Applebee's and we'll play some. It'll be awesome.
It's the second part of the interview that I think you might take umbrage with. So this, again, is
He
Charlie
took
Watts.
umbrage with the first part already.
I umbered out already.
No, you're going to take umbrage with
Am I
this.
gonna umber
Tori
some more?
might throw a temper tantrum and roll around on the floor.
That's not new.
Oh, thanks.
Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stones said,
and I quote,
many musicians and artists of a certain age would now be considering their legacy, but Charlie Watts has said he is amazed at the reaction to David Bowie's death. I thought people would have been very sad, obviously. He was a lovely guy, and he wrote a couple of good songs, but for me, he wasn't this musical genius.
Well, that's not that great.
Charlie who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Because also, Keith said, I don't know what the thing is with Sgt. Pepper's. It's really not a very good album. They just broke up because the fans were screaming. That's not why. They ran out of stuff that really, the Beatles, and I quote, are not that good.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
A lot of interband fighting.
Yeah. That Pope, not all that Catholic. And he doesn't do anything in the woods, if you know what I'm saying.
Steve Martin and Martin Short are now just like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, except for the pay. That's according to a tweet from the duo, who said they have their own Netflix comedy special. So that was their first attempt at humor.
Well, that failed.
I hope it gets better.
Yeah.
What did we say Chris Rock was getting paid for the
$60 million.
Yeah, 50, 60 million bucks.
That's a lot of money. And so thus the joke. But they are going to be doing Steve Martin and Martin Short, an evening you will forget for the rest of your life.
That's kind of funny. The two of them together, though?
Two of them together.
I'm starting to get in a couple of years, I'll be 60. The things I am already forgetting for the rest of my life, like where I put the friggin' keys.
They're going to be also featuring the Grammy-winning bluegrass band Steep Canyon Rangers, Jimmy Kimmel Live band member Jeff Babko, and this is a comedy special with music sketches, conversations about their careers, memorable encounters, talking and sharing stories.
I did not know, and I'm a big fan of this guy, that Martin Short actually did stand-up comedy. I thought he did comedy movies. He's a funny actor. And he's actually been great in everything I'm in. And I believe it's Father of the Bride. He just steals that movie because he's the guy that says he'll have the cheaper chicken or whatever the hell that line is. Everybody cracked up at.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know he said, hey, Paul walks into a bar. I don't know he did that.
The special will be on Netflix, but no release date yet. We'll keep you posted. People who have seen The Matrix, which no matter your age, I feel like you have seen The Matrix because it's always on television.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic movie. It's a great series.
I still don't completely get it, but it's a lot to watch. And that cop that keeps coming back and beating up Nemo, or whatever his name is, I think that's a good time.
I think you can enjoy it, too, without entirely understanding it. Because I'm with you. There's parts where I'm like, all right, I don't
So are
understand
they
that
real
part,
people
but
or are they
yeah.
computer chips?
Right.
Well, Nokia surprised people at the Mobile World Congress.
The car company. I mean, the phone company.
The phone company.
Not a
Nokia.
character from the movie.
No, I thought she was talking. She was going to say Nokia. You can't get in the door. I thought she was doing a joke, and I'm going, oh, come on, what's it going to be? But apparently it's not.
That wasn't a Martin Short, Steve Martin sketch.
That's what I thought was happening.
Nokia, the phone company, surprised people with the release of their i110 4G phone.
Sure.
This is a revamp of the old Nokia 3310, more commonly known as the Matrix phone or the banana phone. It's the phone that Neo, or as Nemo as you like to call him, has, and it's yellow and it's almost like a slidey phone, and it looks like he's holding a banana up to his ear.
It does.
They have announced that the popular demand, bringing back the banana phone, $97, and it will be released in May.
So are you telling me his name's not Nemo?
No, they're not.
That's
the movie
the
is
fish.
Finding Nemo.
The fish, because they're looking for it.
Right.
Right. I didn't know. Leave me alone.
Russell Crowe is apparently ready to move on from his estranged wife, Danielle Spencer. Sotheby's Australia will be hosting an auction titled The Art of Divorce, in which 227 different items from the actor's private life will go up for sale. Diamond rings.
I would like to punch him right in the face and maybe kick him in the nards.
Butt?
Because in the butt, yeah. Because his whole thing is, this is my private life. Don't bother me. Don't ask questions about my private life. Don't do this. And then the second things get rocky. His private life is entirely for sale. I don't like him.
He said divorce has a way of making you really examine the things in life that are essential and the things that are not. Through this process, I had a look around and realized I had a lot of stuff. Career stuff. I've collected stuff in boxes and boxes of stuff. So in the spirit of moving forward into fresh air, here's a portion of that stuff.
Wow. All right. It's weird, but okay.
Well, another thing some are saying is a bit weird is we don't know if this is going towards his divorce settlement or to
Or
a charity.
or is he just
No,
pocketing the money?
I think it's his stuff. He's selling it. I mean, it's only weird because he's a celebrity. Think about it. Paul's going to sell his stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we don't all assume where's the money going. It's going to Paul.
Yeah, but he's not a bazillionaire.
I like
That
it.
is accurate.
You know how
I'm not
Matt,
a
I was on
bazillionaire.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, won $500,000, and then they told me it's going to charity.
I'm sure they told you that before you got
Yeah,
there.
I wasn't paying attention. Or I didn't have $500,000, and it said it in big glowing lights. $500,000, and then I had to give it away.
Well, Derek, what is Derek's Crow? What's his name?
Russell Crowe.
Crowe's net worth.
$110 million.
No, he's only worth $100 million.
I
All
guess
right, he
right
could
now.
use a few extra bucks.
So he's having a yard sale.
Yeah, guitars, watches, diamond rings, art. His 2001 Mercedes valued at $25,000. Motorcycles.
A guitar, huh? I will take a look at that. It's kind of fascinating. You know, because he doesn't need much. He's on a ranch in the middle of nowhere in the outback or whatever.
But what he's going to need is money to pay for his divorce.
Yeah, if you didn't get a prenup and you made a quick $100 million, I think she's going to have a good... She's calling Rick Jones right now.
American Chopper star Paul Tuttle
Yeah.
Sr., his home is in foreclosure.
How is that possible?
Well, this is reportedly due to, let's see, this is according to Page 6. He took out a $1.5 million mortgage on this home, modified the loan, owed $871,000 on the property, and it's 38 acres, 70 miles north of Manhattan. And now he's trying to put it on the market and looks like it's going into foreclosure.
Wow. So is this thing that he still has money and doesn't care? He's not going to catch up his bills? Because he should have a bunch. Is he Orange County Choppers?
American Chopper.
American Chopper.
Yeah, but he's the founder of Orange County Choppers, which is featured on the show American Chopper, and he's worth $15 million.
Yeah. So what's happening there, weirdo face?
Well, he is going to be returning to the Discovery Channel, perhaps because he's spending more than
he's on right now. And the weird thing was he's a tough guy and he's building choppers with his kids. One who seems to be mentally handicapped in some way, but there's another one. And they build these beautiful bikes that go for $100,000. But then he yells at his kid was the whole show, which was
they
funny
fight
and
with each
good.
other.
And then they fought back. But then the kid did something I did not see coming and quit and opened up his own custom store, which did okay. I think the kid's back on.
Yeah, the show was weird because nobody wanted to watch it because they weren't together. They weren't
Right.
talking to each other, and so it would be shots of the dad and shots of the son separately. The whole appeal was that they would argue. and
Here's
fight
the
with each other.
appeal. Ask me for a wrench.
Can I have a wrench?
Get your damn wrench,
Yeah.
son. I did not raise you to not have wrench. Why is your mom so stupid that you don't have a wrench?
And then he would hit the dad with the wrench, and then it would go crazy.
You happy with this wrench
I
now,
used to like watching
Grandpa?
it. Kind of ran its course.
And then Jesse James, the Nazi. That was always an interesting. How did that happen that survived?
Weird. The sister-in-law of Dr. Phil has died 17 years after the act of a stranger changed her life forever. Her name
Well, not
is
forever, for about 17 years.
Yeah, well, Cindy Broadus was a sleeping passenger in a car being driven when she was hit by a bottle of sulfuric acid somebody dropped through the windshield from an overpass. She suffered horrific burns to 70% of her body, including her face, spent a month in the hospital, 12 surgeries, 30% chance of survival. And she said after this, she forgave the perpetrator. She decided to not wake up every day bitter and angry to try to help other people. But now at age 68, she has died. They never found out who did it.
You know what? I don't think I forgive right. Because I always think there's a thing in AA circles where they say holding a grudge is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die and all that stuff, and everybody's got to forgive him. So, like, okay, my ex-wife, what the hell? She didn't really do anything that wrong. I was cheating, but she shouldn't have taken so much money. Well, it was her right to the money, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to forgive her. And I wake up in the morning still hating her every time. I even have the opinion now, full on straight in front of all you guys, God is my witness. She didn't do anything really that wrong. I hate her still. It's weird. I don't think I forgive right.
It's more of a theoretical forgiveness. Like you say, oh yeah, in theory I forgive her. But then you don't really do it.
Oh, well then I'm doing it right.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Yesterday, the Mariners played 2 games.
Woo!
They lost 2 games.
Woo.
First
How
to
do
the
you take a
Royals.
woo back?
14-9. Then to the Padres, 11-6. But today, you know what they'll do?
Turn it around.
All right, playing the Indians, 12:05. We know Russell Wilson is at training camp, reportedly doing very well. And Yankees general manager Brian Cashman said that he is not opposed to Russell Wilson getting an actual at-bat during a game. But he knows Pete Carroll needs to say okay. He said, okay, this is the GM of the Yankees. Pete Carroll hasn't reached out to me yet, but after he sees that I'm open to it, I might get a call. I respect the hell out of Pete Carroll, so I look forward to hearing from him. He wants Russell to play.
And he's calling Pete Carroll out on it, kind of
He is.
challenging him.
But he's saying it's not my job to call him. It's his
Right.
job to call me, and I don't know if that's true. It's your baseball team.
Yeah, well, and the Seahawks have very clearly said no, Russell Wilson will not play actual baseball.
Might change your mind. I don't know.
I would like to see that happen.
Me too.
Well, and yesterday he was doing fielding drills and he had a ground ball kick off the heel of his glove and whack him in the face. And other players on the field asked him if he's okay, and he said, "I've been hit harder."
Well, he's whacked him in the face. He's not a model. He's a football player. He
Right.
can take one to the head.
Former Cy Young Award winner Tim Lincecum has agreed to a deal with the Texas Rangers. He is now 33. Last time around, he played for the Angels, winning the Cy Young Award in 2008 and 2009. So another team for him. He's bounced around a bit, but Tim Lincecum has found a new home. And someone else who has found a new home is South Korean defender Kim Ki-hee. Seattle announced they have signed him 5 days before its season opener. So the Sounders adding somebody new. Again, he is a defender, and they start their season Sunday against expansion team LAFC.
Cool.
Papa John's is no longer the official pizza of the NFL.
Why not? What happened? Oh, my goodness.
Well, they had some disagreements regarding standing for the anthem. There was some pushback from fans. Papa John's said that they have come to an agreement to end the agreement, and now the NFL has a new deal. So this broke yesterday.
With somebody else?
Yes. Papa John's yesterday, they announced, okay, we are no longer the official pizza of the NFL. And this morning we find out it is Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is now the official pizza of the NFL.
I got to tell you, there are some. It's weird that any of them are still in business. now with Grubhub and that kind of thing, you can get a pizza from anywhere. So you got a gourmet, fancy, truffly pizza that you like, you can get that delivered. But I think Pizza Hut, of the things that are just deliveries, probably the best.
Yeah.
Well, they will be paying likely more, according to experts. It's for 4 years. And Papa John's, is it going to hurt them? I don't know. Not
Pizza
having
Manning still owns 21 of their stores. So I think that's exciting. But Pizza Hut and only Pizza Hut wrap wieners in dough to give you wiener stuffed
You
crust.
can do that too, Danny.
Thank you. Actually, I've been caught doing that.
Do they still do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's a specialty thing. But yeah.
Don't forget to get your tickets for Whiskey Rocks Northwest. We just found out the VIP tickets have sold out, but the general admission tickets are on sale now. It sells out every year, so get your tickets now, whiskeyrocksnw.com. Remember, we will all be there. It's your chance to hang out with us, listen to live music, all while being at Safeco Field and drinking whiskey.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Sampling whiskeys and bourbons from around the world. There were so many types last year. I didn't even have as many as my ticket allowed me to have. And it's just kind of fun to try something that maybe you can't afford the bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried some bottles that were well over $100.
Or maybe you can try something, say, you didn't like that much the first time. Amy. That's what I'm saying.
We still talking about whiskey?
I didn't know we were ever talking about whiskey. Is it?
That's your sports, and it's brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA.
You know, keeping with the theme, you know who really likes to stuff his wiener into some crust?
I do.
That would be my friend, the Silver Fox.
Yeah, what's his name?
Steve Slayton.
Steve
And Steve
Slayton.
Slayton's on his way in here right now. Who knows what he's going to do with your crust, but you're going to enjoy it. I'll tell you that right now, because he's going to play a bunch of classic rock for you, because that's what he was born to do. We'll get out of his way. Bye.
This traffic report is brought to you by Domino's. On I-5 northbound, you're going to see some stop-and-go traffic as you make your way between Albro Place and Seneca Street. And over in Tacoma on Highway 16 eastbound as you approach Sprague Avenue, there's an accident currently blocking the two right lanes. Domino's has an offer that you can't pass up. Order any large specialty pizza for $10.99 when you carry out today. Offer valid at participating Seattle area stores. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may apply. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.